What is up, everybody? So they buffed Okita and Hijikata, and Okita got an animation update, which I have not seen yet, so hopefully we can check that out. And they added hunting quests, which the first hunting quest is lame because it just gives chains, and I know there's like some people out there that need chains. I am not one of them, so very useless to me. And look, chains are a login reward right now, so it's like, I hate these login rewards. So this month, all three of the things I don't need. Like, all three of them are things I just don't need at all. So I'm just like, whatever. But, you know, if you're gonna do a dead week, might as well add in hunting quests. So, it doesn't bother me. Alright, let's see if we got Okita on our friends list at all. I wonder how she does in Ongra's interlude. Now this stage lags like a motherfucker, so this might not be a good stage to do on stream, we'll see. We might have to add somebody, because I don't know, off memory, I don't know if we have any Okitas. Yeah, those aren't on our friends list. Ongra kills a lot of people though, I don't know a lot of units that can handle this. There's an Okita. Hopefully they've been online recently. Also that name. Oh, they're level 115. So Hijikata's buff is pretty awesome. He, on his disengage skill now, he gives himself guts. And it stacks with other guts, which means you can have like a guts craft essence or whatever, and it won't no effect. Or necromancy. And it brings it back at 1 health, which is obviously good for him. Well, normally it's good for him. It's still really bad if there's like dots or something, but more times than not, it's good. Yeah, Emiya's an archer, but we're not gonna win anyway. Emiya's not the problem. Even with him being an archer, that's not the problem. The main problem with this stage that I'm thinking is because it lags, it's probably not a good stage to like look at the animation update, so I might switch. Besides, I don't think I can actually summon a fucking Okita. Apparently no one has Okita in my chat, feels bad. She is kind of rare though because, you know, limited and all that. Been a lot of animation updates I've been mixed about, but I haven't seen this one yet, so we shall see. Assuming we can actually find a fucking Okita. She can't be that rare. I've literally never had a problem like using a specific unit before. I don't know why Okita would be the one. Because I even asked on my Discord earlier and we got nothing. I'm trying to think, what would be a good stage? Oh yeah, we need to do scats stuff. I forgot about that. I guess we'll just do that. And, well, that has an archer in it still, though. Everything has a fucking archer in it, apparently. Okita's buff is pretty mild, but I don't... That's fine. I mean, Okita was such a good unit before. It's just such a bullshit, like, myth that she's bad. Like, she's so good. But, like, yeah, her buff, it's okay. She basically, gives herself, an attack up when she attacks for 1 turn. It's 20%. Like it's kind of like what's her name? Canis is kind of like Canis' second skill. Like it's not a super strong buff, but it makes her normal card damage better. And she was already so good that it's not really a problem. The Mordred interlude would probably be too easy, to be honest. Well, it doesn't honestly need to be hard. We just need to look at the animations. So the main thing is I actually need to find someone with Okita because we don't have anybody. So I'm gonna check Discord again. Could always summon one that's not on our friends list, but then you can't see their NP, and obviously we want to see that. Yeah, Hijikata's got the stronger of the two buffs, but that's fine because he needed it more. I have 41 people on my friends list, dear God. Well, they do have Okita slotted, it's just they haven't logged on in a long time. Oh yeah, and Jay. Jay hasn't logged on though in like 3 days, so... I would say this stage, but you can only use your own units for this stage. You can't summon somebody else's. The thing about Mordred is she's decently popular, but she pales in popularity compared to a lot of other characters. Like, you can just, it's rather obvious with like polls and fan art and everything. But she's unlimited, so not only does she have raid ups, but you can get spooked by her too, so the amount of people with her is quite high. And she's actually really, really good, so... You have to do a strengthening quest and... Okay, with this we can handle. Let's just berserk. And you have to bring Ku. God damn it! Yeah, Hijikata's looking pretty good since his buff. Why do interludes cost so much AP? Fucking stupid. Alright, well, time to hit the refresh button like a trillion times until I get somebody that hasn't been online in like 11 hours. Well, my volume's a bit whack. How is Mordred compared to Artoria for challenge quests? I'd think Mordred is better, but it kind of, you know, depends on the style of challenge quest. But I'd say more times than not, Mordred is better because being able to remove debuffs comes up pretty often in challenge quests. You know, having a 50% defense up is nice for challenge quests. And Mordred's second skill is just so fucking good now. Now, Artoria is fine too, though. It's not like Artoria is bad. Like, if you're needing an AoE saber, I feel like some challenge quests just call for that. They're both generally going to do pretty well, but I do think Mordred is better because the debuff clear alone is just a really, really nice niche, but then on top of that you get the large defense up, and then I think her second skill is overall better than Artoria's wave critting. But Artoria does give the team charisma, which is certainly nice. I don't understand, chat. Why can I not summon fucking... I like how it's just giving me the same people like over and over again. May have to remove some people just so I can actually summon this Okita. This is getting ridiculous. Like, it's literally giving me the same, like, 4 people just over and over again. This is getting dumb. I mean, someone that hasn't been online in 11 hours is normally pretty hard to summon, but they're not so if you only have like 15 people on your friends list, but it's really hard to manage when you're a streamer. Yeah, this is worse than normal. I mean, it's literally giving me Faust like 80 fucking times. Like, I mean, it sometimes I think it just gets stuck and like it won't mix things up. Cause like Faust hasn't even online like that recently, and I'm every fucking time. I'm just gonna nuke Faust and I'll just add Faust again later because Faust is here pretty often. Feels bad, but I mean, this is getting dumb as hell. Like, what the fuck? Okay, those are the ones that are popping up like constantly. Let's see if that helps. Might remove myself as well. Although, how the fuck is my dumbass account showing up? I haven't played that in like almost a full day. Yeah, no, I haven't played in a full day. That doesn't make any sense. And before, they're like not slotted in, like they're in the event slot or something. I wouldn't have seen them though, if that was the case. I'm getting mad. Nice to have like 20 minutes of a stream where you're just clicking the refresh button and nothing's happening. And I'm not, is Okita not popular? I don't understand. I have never in my history of playing this game had a hard time like finding someone with a specific, you know, waifu, for God's sakes. This is ridiculous. This is so stupid though. It's literally just giving me the same people over and over again. I think I'm gonna go like, I'm gonna do this stage real quick because I need to get it out of the way anyway. And there's an archer enemy, which is crap. So I'm gonna just beat this stage and see if that changes things, because this is ridiculous. Like, it's just not changing the units it's giving me. Let's get some Romulus hype in here. Guys, Okita is Roman, right? Well, I haven't dropped any frames, so. Yeah, I guess Dust would be pretty good from Hunting Quest. Dusts and like, I need Golem cores. That's something I need on a lot of my accounts right now. Well, my main not so much, but my other accounts. How about that Nobu buff that we never get? I like how they buffed all the Nobus except the original Nobu, which is the one that needs it the most. No, they don't have to bring her back. I mean, they buffed Shiki and they didn't bring Shiki back. They buffed Saber Lily, they didn't bring her back. They buffed Koro and they didn't bring her back. I mean, they brought them back at different times, but like Shiki's buff was after, you know, the rerun, like, a good bit after it. Who needs a Noble Phantasm? I wonder how this does if you give him crit command codes if you set up a turn like this. Pretty good, I would imagine. Yeah, I would think so. I want them to add Maxwell's Demon really bad. Still archers, by the way. I don't understand why I can summon my crap account, who has not been online in a day, but I can't summon somebody that was on 11 hours ago. This is crazy, dude. Very fucking... Why was that so hard? Also, watch her get destroyed because of the archers. I should probably pick a different stage. I don't want to waste the opportunity here. I gotta do this stage anyway, so... If I don't see me using Carmella anytime soon. You try to see a goddamn animation update, man. I mean, Bedivere doesn't need a buff. He's really good as he is. Like, you could buff him and it wouldn't like break the game or anything, but there's really no need for one. Okay. Did the old tried and true combo there. I cannot help but notice they are barely reanimating her. She's basically sliding around the ground and they're doing paper mache nonsense again. Why am I not surprised by this? Like, that looks okay. Like, the quick attack's alright. What's funny is her original animation update was one of those animation updates where they didn't like change it that much, and that's kind of what it looks like if they do it again. But it's and more looks like how to, like, they're just not putting much effort into the actual animations that they added. Like, wait, did I taunt? Okay, no, I didn't. I'm kind of with Chad on this one. It doesn't really look that good. Like, that extra attack looks really wonky. Like that, like the very end of it, the arm movements at the end look kind of terrible. Let's see the NP. I'll wait until Leonidas is dead. Makes this a lot easier. Should have attacked the other guy. Never mind, we crit. Now, there's definitely some changes to the animations. They didn't just add particle effects. Like, they reanimated her arms and stuff, I can tell. But it's definitely not the most in-depth thing they've ever done. Oh yeah, I have to check out the skill animations. I don't know, this seems really phoned into me. This it's just not, I mean, it's not awful. It's not like she looks like garbage or anything, but like, that NP is almost nothing, right? Like, that literally is like 2 frames of animation and the cut-in, like, it's just not that great. Yeah, it's pretty much the same NP, but the background's different. Like, she's not even moving in it. Like, it's just meh. I tell you, generally when they do animation updates for old units, they just don't put in that much effort into them, and like, they added animation frames there and stuff, it just doesn't look very good, and like, the fact she's like sliding on the ground so much is just weird. I mean, the thing is, her animations were okay before, but they weren't amazing either. It's really easy to make something have better quality, like have more frames of animation and stuff like that, and make the sprite look better. Like, there's plenty of room for improvements in that department. They just didn't. Alright, let's see the skills. Is that our only skill animation? This guy's did it 3 times in a row. Could just be luck though. Well, I mean, it doesn't look awful or anything. It doesn't look amazing either. It's like there's nothing bad about it. Like, I was a big Okita fan. I'm not like, oh god, this is gross, right? It's just it doesn't really look like they put that much effort into it. Like, it kind of felt like they were like they were trying to make it look like they made her fancier without really putting much time into it. It's kind of what it seems like. We haven't tried Hijikata yet, but I mean, I already know the way he plays, and I know how adding guts to that will help, so... But if we can find like a fun stage to test with him, you know, we'll see how he does against the dragon. Because maybe used him against the dragon before. I don't think he ever won, but it'd be kind of interesting to see that now. Oh yeah, we can fight the dragon on in A now. Oh, I haven't unlocked it yet, but we'll use Scath on our own thing here. 1-1-1-2. You know, hold on. I can at least make her like. I don't know if I want to give her gold Lancer gems right now, because I don't know how much I'm actually going to use her, but I can at least give her like the blue gems and shit like that. I mean, I haven't done anything because I got her when there was a lottery event going on. It's almost like I would rather use my AP for the lottery than for a buffs for a unit that I wasn't going to use for that entire event. Oh god, she needs so much Void Dust. Like, it literally costs like hundreds of AP to do her 2 upgrades. That's a lot of lottery runs instead. I have Scath 10-10-10 and all that in A, and she is fun to use like that. But we normally use Q anyway. I'll get her 10-10-10 at some point, but there's just a lot of Lancers I need to give Lancer gems to right now. I like Hector's like extra attack and all, but overall I didn't really like Hector's animation update. Well, I wouldn't want to say that. All the animations that are there, I don't mind. He just has so few animations. Like, it's crazy how few animations they actually gave him. But like, the ones that are there are fine for the most part. Like, his NP is a bit lazy because it's Qingong's, but like, you know, his Rocket Punch and the attacks he does look just fine. It's just, he's got some of the fewest animations in the entire game, which is kind of whack. I think he deserved better. But that's, I'm telling you, man, DW just does not put in the effort to animation updates anymore. Yeah, Spartacus's was good. That was a long time ago, though. Like back in the day, they used to never reuse assets, but they reuse them quite a bit now. Like they reuse NP assets like crazy now. They, for God's sakes, they reused the skeleton work for Pent NP for Jax. I was like, and it was so noticeable too. It's just like, why? Yeah, Karna's was really good. That one was really, really good. I really don't like Skaz very much. It's just, like, the sprite obviously looks better, but, like, there's so few in-between frames in her attacks. Hers is one of the least fluid animation sets I've ever seen. Like, it's very jumpy. And it's just, dude, like, I know a fair bit about animation, and, like, it's hard. I can't not notice, like, certain things people do that they're doing just to save time and stuff. It's like cheap tricks and stuff. Like her MP, they're doing everything you can to try to make it seem fancy without actually animating anything. It's literally like 3 frames, right? It's like, it's just lame. Probably worth NPing here, honestly. That was very necessary to kill a golem. Come on, crits. Literally everything crit, I'll take that. Imagine if she had that MP gain all the time. Got a VC bronze NP, dude. Oh man, that's a lazy one right there. I think Jikata gets rated up like every other day or something like that. Or like rotating. You can get Izo though. This is Izo's 4th rate up, which is not half bad. Like he's been pretty easy to get if you actually want him. I was really hoping Lancelot would attack more than that, so I would get my NP. I'm gonna try to blow him up with normal cards. I should probably set her NP to be slow-mo only because you don't really use her for farming, and her NP in fast mode looks kind of bad. Lancelot had a pretty good animation update. That was a long time ago though. Yeah, I mean, it's very noticeable to me, the difference in quality of animation updates. Like, they still sometimes, not always, but they still sometimes make new units with good quality, but I think it's because they make a lot more money on new units than updating old ones. Well, I wanted to see something. I wanted to do this for a while. The only reason I haven't, like, really done it is because I didn't want to use the QP, and I wasn't really planning on using him for a video until he got an animation update or something. But kind of feel like using Tesla. Oh. Yep, we're gonna need Void Dust. You have to start farming that America stage that drops Void Dust. Hopefully one of the hunting quests will be Void Dust. I'm gonna have to go kind of ham on that. This is the first time I've gotten kind of low on lures, but honestly, they haven't given us lures in ages. Like, the Hagfest gave 1 lure. Normally events give like 3, but that one only gave 1. Like, we haven't really had a good source of lures in a while. Well, there goes my Void Dust. Yeah, Ushi not having an anim. You know what scares me? They'll finally give Ushi an animation update, and it's gonna be lazy as fuck. Right? Like it's gonna be lazy as fuck. Because just because we care doesn't mean they do. Yeah, like Hagfest didn't even have a challenge quest, so there was no lure from that. And you didn't get a lure for the final like mission or anything. You just got a Grail, and then a lure from one of the lotteries, but that was it. So you only got 1 lure from it. Yeah, I want Tesla in P2 really bad. Right now his damage isn't the best. I mean, they half-assed the 5 stars that are old. So I don't have any expectations of them going above and beyond for Uchi. Yeah, I wasn't too blown away by Okita either. Like it was pretty meh. I think they might update like 1 or 2 people for Lost Belt 6, but I don't expect any kind of like massive amount. I mean, just look at the last 2 years. Look at how they've handled animation updates over the last 2 years, man. It's been crazy slow and disappointing. This is gonna get nasty. These guys are gonna... These 2 chaps are gonna be a problem. Now, if I stun... Okay, this is gonna get weird. Yakiris Crew's probably gonna get one at some point. I can maybe kill the 64k one. Then I might stun the other one. Okay, I'm gonna cast this. I'm hoping I kill the 64k one. I didn't P1 though, I don't know. And then either stun the other one or we just phase sync. We stunned the 64k one. Which we are probably going to kill. Yeah, we're definitely going to kill that. Well, that could have been such god tier value, but it wasn't. Because his guts doesn't last that long, I almost want to not cast the heal. I should have brought Atlas, I think. That'd have been so good if we had stunned the other one. That's gonna be rough. We could do bonus damage to him though, but we are only in P1. I should have cast that next turn. It would have been basically the same thing, but I might have crit on a Buster Chain. We just failed like a 40, 50, and a 70% crit chance. We didn't crit with any of that. Well, no value out of our guts. I think we're gonna lose. Feels bad. I need to live one more turn and I could recast my guts. Definitely should have gone with Atlas. That's neutral is rough, man. Also, MP1 is rough. You know, I guess I shouldn't have evaded in case we got lucky stuns and then evaded next turn. Then I could have cast Guts again. Yep, should not have cast Evade, because I think they're only going to get one action this turn. Which might have killed me, but it would have been my only chance. Yo, that feels bad. Because yeah, then I need to cast Evade this turn, and then you cast Guts next turn. Damn. Kinda wanna try that again. Yeah, Tesla can kill himself. There's not a lot of units that can do that, but there's a few. Oh yeah, that lack of critting was pretty rough. Yeah, I would say an NP2 Penth is more valuable than an NP1 new unit. Especially Penth, because she's all about getting her NP really fast, and you already got her at 100, so yeah, I would get Penth. Unless you're just like super like Tomoe, but I would definitely say... I overwhelmingly use my 4-star ticket on making units already have a higher NP rank. Like it's ultimately more useful. It's not like you're going to bring 6 NP1 units at once. Well, I mean, his Penth is level 100, so it's pretty obvious he likes Penth, so... We could NP literally turn 1. Actually, I don't think we go for the boar. Because we're gonna NP really early. Most likely. I could NP right now. Stunning this turn doesn't matter that much, though. It's hard to rely on the... we'll do it, though. That is really cool that Tesla gives the whole team the NP gain. Kinda handy. Like, if you're working with, you know, supports, you know, Merlin or whatever, it's just nice to be able to give them some help. Yeah, I've actually never used my free 4-star on getting a new unit. I've always used it on making someone NP from MP1 to MP2 or something like that. But that might change because I'm so sick of not having Hercules on my main account. Fuck, we did not kill the pig. We stunned it, but we did not kill it. NP1! Well, the stun did result in George living, which is actually kind of a good thing, because now I can not get NP'd in the face on Tesla, which is actually a pretty big deal. Which means now I should not have Atlas, but oh well. Do I cast my defense up or try to cast my defense up? Thinking no. It's gonna suck though. Probably gonna take a lot of damage here. These guys hit pretty hard. Don't crit me. Okay. It's bearable. I'm actually planning on grailing Tesla to 100 and 2k foe eventually on all that nonsense. I'm really wanting NP2 and you know, an animation update would be nice. Although with the quality that those have been, I don't know how that's gonna work out. Almost want to go art, but I think we take the damage. Even though I'm trying to save for Lost Belt 6 and stuff, if they raid up Tesla, I'm rolling. Get at least MP2. He stunned them both! Why you do that now? I almost want to start attacking the other guy because we don't do the bonus damage to him. I think next turn I attack the other guy. Maybe I should have done it that turn though. Ooh, okay. I'm really glad we didn't die that turn. I mean, we could have still done invulnerability, then cast guts again, but still. He stunned them both again. Why can't he do this all the time? That'd be amazing. But it doesn't matter. Like that's like the one of the few times it's actually kind of hurting us because guts would have gone off there. Now we just lose guts, right? And so it's basically the same thing except I got less MP gain because they would have hit me, right? And them hitting me would give me MP gain. So it didn't. Like there are situations that's really good, especially when your guts like has been used, but that just meant our guts never got used. So. I could get my NP like right now if I wanted to. I could do art, quick art. Is that worth it? Yeah, why not? I think we'll win no matter what because we got that invulnerability still. Although because I have guts, he's only going to get to hit me the one time. Thankfully that had a high hit count, but it got me to 98%. It's fine, our battery skill would come back next turn, which actually means we should have just done Buster Art Buster. It would have won, like... It's the same, I think we would have won this turn either way. That happens so much, man. It's like we have an emote for it or something. Although we need to make that emote 98 instead of 99, but close enough. It's kind of funny that we got our skill upgrade before we got our NP upgrade. Oh yeah, you have to bring Ku. I wonder if this Ku can solo it. You know what we're gonna do? I got a better idea. I am so glad that the added Qigong, by the way. It's great. Gotta just yeet the inferior coup here. A Rosh creation, yeah, pretty much. Inae's getting closer to getting him. I think y'all got like, what, 8 months or something like that? That's a good ways off, but... Honestly, if he used his first and second skill well, depending on what enemies you fight here, he might be able to solo this. But, obviously we're not doing that. Is it worth it to Grail Chin from a damage perspective? I mean, sometimes it's bad. I would basically say this: if you're gonna Grail Chin, just level up a regular Chin as well, because sometimes you're gonna want them for like different purposes, like just the support cycle angle, and you might need them to be able to die quickly. But 100 Chin actually does do really good damage. Now, you can't always justify yeeting that many teammates. Like for farming, sure, right? Like for farming, you can have like double Castoria going on and then Waver or whatever, and you're just firing your ammo while they give you NP battery, right? And that works out really well. So for farming, it's not, you know, I don't think you would have a problem with a 100 Chin. But for challenge quests, you can't always afford doing that kind of setup. But he will do good damage. He will do good damage at 100. Chin always kills the person like in the most to the front. Other than himself, he won't kill himself. Oh, there's 2 in this wave. That'd be kind of hard to solo with the other one, the other coup. Oh yeah, I took off some of my command codes. I need to put those back. A little bit of overkill. Probably could have done double quick, but... Oh yeah, I'm going way over on NP gain. There's been a few strengthening quests where it's like very thematic. Like that last Mordred one, every one she fought in every stage was like a really armored foe. That was like the thing, they're all really armored up because, you know, she's got armor and stuff. But some of them are really random. And Billy fought all people that have firearms. I'd like to point out that even our level 70 coup on the 1 to 3 star account, right, using a 3-star craft essence, like his NP damage was still almost like his, like at neutral, it was almost the NP damage of 100 face at counter class. Now obviously, you know, 100 face gets more damage if she has time to ramp, right? You get the art defense downs and art ups going and stuff, but it is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I think Tesla did have one that was like lightning themed or something like that. I tell you what though, I think Hijikata is just going to be such a strong servant now. Because I'd always, like, he's always been, you know, pretty decent, and there's been times where he's honestly been a really damn good pick. But, you know, he's had a few holes in stuff, but I think having just a bit more survivability and stuff, I really think he's going to be a damn good, like, solo unit and just, you know, general DPS on a team and things like that. I think he's going to be really, really good now. That's funny, he's like all coup and Cat's interlude. That's where they tried to justify. I think it's this interlude. I think this is the interlude where they try to like justify why he's a 3-star and like basically his like Saint Graph is messed up and he's weaker than normal, and that's why he's like level 48 and shit. And they like kind of allude to like it's because of Caster Coup. He's like split between himself and Caster Coup, so Scat's trying to make him stronger again. But it's like it was just a bullshit like way to try to justify why he was a 3-star in FGO. It's kind of dumb. They did that for Herc too. I can't remember. I want to say the thing with Herc was they were like Chaldia can't summon him properly or something like that. I think that was their excuse. I can't remember though. And I want to say they said that for Karna too, but at least he's in a different shape. He is a 5-star. The thing is, I don't think they regret. Well, they might regret now because they don't really remember their mindset at the time. But their reasoning for making Ku a 3-star and Medusa a 3-star and Herc a 4-star makes sense because you want people to, you know, get into the game, right? Like I've said this before, but back then when FGO came out, Fate wasn't nearly as strong as an IP as it is now. You know, it was starting to do well. You know, it was like, you know, it was a bit after Fate Zero and like Unlimited Blade Works, I think, and that's really what started putting Fate on the map. But people really at that time only really knew the Fate Stay Night characters and the Fate Zero characters. But it was really obvious that they wanted a lot of like the familiar faces to be, you know, fairly obtainable. That way people would get a feel like, oh yeah, Medea, I got Medea and Ku, I remember those guys, right? And that kind of would hold you over and then, you know, get you into the game and stuff. So it's kind of obvious that they did that because they made a lot of the Fate Stay Night cast 3 and 4-star. Obviously they didn't make Artoria because, you know, they're not gonna go that far, obviously. But like now that Fate is so much more popular now, if they made a new game now, they wouldn't make Ku a 3-star anymore. I don't think so. Although he's got such a reputation now, or maybe they would, but I doubt it. Like it's like generally when they collab with other games, and like they've put Ku in other games. Like he's in Battle Cats and some card games and bullshit. And generally they like in Battle Cats, I think he's a 5-star. So it's like they don't generally do that. They tried to justify like the rarity in the early days just because they thought they needed to, but they just don't anymore. They literally don't even talk about it anymore. The things are just the rarity because of business stuff. That's you know, they'll make a really powerful unit like a 4-star welfare sometimes just, you know, to throw the player base a bone, but then sometimes they'll make the welfare whatever the fuck, and then, you know, they've got, you know, weird things that are 5-stars that aren't necessarily that powerful, and they've got some really powerful stuff that are 3-stars. So they just don't really give a fuck about it anymore, which I'm glad, like, because I understand the business side of things is going to be part of it, right? Like it or not, that's just going to happen. And so I would rather they just make, you know, whatever bullshit they, you know, want to be 5-star and not try to justify it. Like just do it, and then they are what they are lore-wise, right? It works way better, so I'm quite glad they don't bother with that nonsense anymore. Yeah, they don't need to. They don't. I just think they thought that they needed to, but then they realized that they didn't, and it was I think they figured it was more harmful trying to justify it, which I think it was. Because it just there's no making it make sense, right? Like Asterios, if you look at his character material and everything, it's like, damn, this guy is really powerful, but he's a 1-star, which is literally the lowest, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. Now, Chen's always been 2-star, but when he was like in the story only, I don't think he even said. He didn't fight him or anything. Oh yeah, no, Rosh. Oh god, yeah, no, Rosh is such a powerful servant. But they were such unknown characters back then, right? So they didn't have any, I guess, like, faith in them. They had to make something in the FP summon. The funny thing is, it's kind of obvious at the start of FGO, they did not intend on people, like, and even, I remember they said this. This was before they added Chen Gong and Gareth and everything. There was an interview with DW a while ago, and, like, the interviewer had asked him, like, are you all aware that, you know, people really want you to add more bronze servants, something along those lines? Like, they were like, yeah, we're aware, but when we first made the game, like, we were so not expecting people to, like, want bronze servants, right? But because like I think when they first made FGO, they wanted the bronze servants to be like you use them for 5 seconds, and then you replace them, right? Like that's because they didn't even have third skills. Most of them did not have third skills. You know, they didn't really have thought out toolkits and stuff like that. And you can just tell they didn't put that much effort into some of their designs and whatnot. You know, their background didn't even have background art, you know, that kind of stuff. But obviously, people ended up really liking the low stars, and a few of them, I think, just coincidentally, I don't think DW meant this, a few of them coincidentally just ended up being insanely useful, like Leonidas and George and Hans and Arash and stuff. And so FGO kind of just got known for, like, oh yeah, the low stars aren't crap. And so I think they were like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna make the low stars not crap. And then they started, you know, adding more silvers and bronzes and stuff, although they add silver a lot more than bronze, but, you know, they have added some bronze. But yeah, I don't think when they first made the game, I don't think they were intending... I solely believe they did not intend to make a game where the 1 to 3 stars were like really good. I do not think they meant to do that. I think it was an accident, and then they kind of like started supporting that as the game went on, because, you know, they started adding third skills to units and buffing low stars and stuff. But like early on, man, there's so much of like the way the game was designed. I do not think they wanted this game to be... They wanted you to always want to roll for like 5 stars and shit. But yeah. Now, you know, FGO, that's, you know, yesterday I was, you know, really talking about some of the stuff that really bothered me about FGO, and I stand by that stuff. I think some of the game design in this game is absurd. But the one thing that it really does do better than most of the other gacha games is their 1 to 3 stars are actually good, and they actually add new 3 stars from time to time, and they add new 1 to 2 stars every once in a while. That's a lot rarer, but they do that. The only other game I can think of that I think that does equally good of a job is Arknights, although Arknights does not really add new 3 stars. You know, their default 1, 2, and 3 stars for Arknights are all really good, and they're very usable, and they cover a lot of bases, but they haven't really added any new 3 stars. And although I will say Arknights is a little different, because their 3 stars are basically 2 stars, and their 4 stars are basically 3 stars. 4 stars are just not hard to get in Arknights. They're just not. I have like all of them. I barely fucking play that game, and I have like all of them. Like a lot of them are free, a lot of them you get from like the event shops and shit like that, and then just the rates at which you get 4 stars in Arknights is pretty much the rate you would get 3 stars. I would say it's a little bit harder to get 4 stars than it is to get 3 stars in this game. I would say 4 stars in Arknights are like 3.5 stars in FGO, which obviously don't exist, but it's basically what that is, right? They're a little bit harder to get than 3 stars, but they're definitely not like getting 4 stars in FGO. The Arknights doesn't really have CEs, that's another thing. I guess that is a big part of it too. Okay, I like how normally I would not use Atlas at a time like this, but because it does, I might as, you know what, I'm gonna not NP, and I'm just gonna get my first skill back, so I'll get the attack up, and I'll do it then, just to be stylish. Also, I totally should have given 2 command codes, but... There's some pretty good 2 stars in Arknights, but there's some duds too, definitely. They're not as good as the 2 stars in FGO. Like, definitely not. There's all, because, my god, you know, we have Hans and George and Qin Gong, you know, those are super powerful. Like, I'm no affecting the guts, because it's I have that much survivability, like, who even cares? This interlude's for Scath, actually, and they just forced you to use Ku, because, like, this story was more about Ku, really, than Scath. But it's a pretty bad interlude that makes no sense, and it even conflicts with things that, like, they say in Ku's bio. It's really dumb. They did not do a good job with, like, how they explained Ku throughout the early days of FGO. Like, they were all like, oh yeah, his runes are sealed in FGO, but then he uses his runes in FGO, and it's like, I've not checked, because I don't read moon runs. I wonder if they removed that from his bio. That would fix a lot of inconsistencies in FGO, is if they just remove that line from his bio, but they probably haven't, but yeah, I will say, there's a lot of 6 stars in Arknights that really are broken. I actually find them so broken that, like, I would rather just not use them. I think that game is so much more enjoyable when you have to, like, try harder and really work at it and to figure out, like, the stage gimmicks and stuff. And some of the 6 stars, not all of them, but a lot of the 6 stars in Arknights, especially if you upgrade them all the way and stuff, they're so strong, you can just trivialize a lot of content that otherwise would be really fun. So I'm like, happy to not use 6 stars in Arknights because, and again, some of them aren't that OP, and you could also not elite them up and things like that. Like, if you have like, if you were like me, where you really enjoy challenge and like having to like respect content and not trivialize things, but you also like had a 6-star in that game that you just loved to death, so you wanted to have both. You wanted to still have a challenging time and still get to use your favorite unit. You could just like not make them elite 2, right? Shit like that, and it wouldn't be so bad. Because like Silver Ash, if you don't elite him, is good, but he's not broken, right? If you do make him though elite, then he's bullshit. But seriously, if you don't elite him, he's not that good. I mean, he's good, but like, well, like I just said, meant like if my favorite unit in that game was a 6-star, right? Like they added some like awesome, you know, like badass heavy armor guy with a battle axe or some bullshit, right? Like I would hopefully be able to just not elite 2 him or elite 1 him, and he would just you know, be good but not game breaking at that point. So I'd probably just do that. But yeah, if you really max out Silver Ash, he's so stupid. But if you don't, it's not that big of a deal. Because I know Silver Ash is absolutely some people's favorite character in that. Alright, who the heck? God, this fucking command code UI, dude. It's just... Oh, the rage. I can't... Who the fuck did I even give the flat damage to? Why would I have even... It had to have been for this, like, low star account or a video or something, because... It's not on Canis right now. I like how you can't even see. You can't even see, like, when that menu where they gray them out, it doesn't actually show who has the command code. Not only can you not switch it from that menu, like you should be able to, it won't even tell you who has it. Okay, that makes sense, because although I imagine that didn't make that much of a difference, but I can see why I did that, because we were doing these students. I mean, the Bunny Artoria command code is good like a third of the time, roughly. But, like, you know, that's not great. And there are certain units that will use, like, multiple card types per turn. Because I will say, I think some people don't realize that it activates before card damage. So if you're, let's say you put it on a Buster card and you use it and it procs Buster up, that Buster up is actually applying to that Buster card. Well, I assume it does. Most command codes work that way. I have never tested that one, but the other command codes generally work in that way, so I would assume that one does too. But, you know, maybe it's an exception, and if it is an exception, that would actually be really funny, because it's already such a bad command code, and then if you randomly made like an exception for it to make it even worse, that would like they were afraid that it would be too good. That'd be pretty dumb. But yeah, units that like will do like Buster quick art turns a lot are okay, but in a team context, you're not gonna be able to do that. And I will say, in a team context, I think it's crap. I think it's really crap in a team context. But for a last man standing or a solo unit, I think it's all right. You know, I actually prefer this on Canis. The way Ku plays and the way his gain rates work, I find that this almost always goes to waste. It can't, not always, but it does often. Where with Canis, I find it rarely goes to waste. Especially because, like, Ku is pretty good on the front row. It depends on this kind of fight, but there are definitely, like, if I was using Ku on the front row, I would be way more likely to give him this. But because I'm more likely to use him in a solo or in a last man standing, it doesn't work. Like, in a team context, though, if he was going to be in the front row from turn 1, I would definitely give him this one instead. But I find Canis just benefits from it more. Especially if I use it for farming or something. Although I tell you, Ku in the front row can be so strong. I've seen many challenge quests where that is... It just makes your team so tanky. Like, it can be really, really, really good. But and sometimes you just don't need it, though. You know, sometimes you don't need a front row to be that kind of tanky. Yeah, the Antoinette one's quite good. It's another star absorb one. So right now, like there's two 100% star absorb for art card ones, and there's two generic 100% star absorbs, and then there's the Antoinette one. So you have a lot of like really powerful Star Absorb command codes now. Like early on there wasn't that many, but now there's quite a few. So that's pretty nice. We should switch to the ult account in a second. If we're gonna just like dick around, there's not much point in wasting AP on this account. I think you fight Scath in this one, I think. See that or you fight Ku? I don't remember. No, you must fight Scath. If they're making you use Ku, you must fight. That wouldn't make any sense otherwise. I don't remember if there's a quick only Star Absorb one. There's a quick only crit one. I want to say it has a Star Absorb one. But, 400k, that's respectable. For neutral anyway. If we were counterclassing, that wouldn't be respectable at all, and we would just destroy it. But for counterclassing, that's, or not counterclassing, that should be alright. And hey, we have one less taunt, so. I like how we never get a lot of coup cards. That's probably good. We kind of could use the handicap. Marked by Sanson twice in one stream. I mean, hey, I like Sanson, so, you know. I remember that one time I got hit by Sanson when I shouldn't even, like... Basically, I don't count as a viewer if I'm in my Twitch dashboard. I'm not like actually there, right? So I can't be Sanson. But one time I did get Sanson somehow, which was really weird. But yeah, if I watched my stream or read my chat through like my regular channel like everyone else does, then I could be Sanson, I'm pretty sure. I should honestly do that because that's more fun, but do I cast Guts now? I have no idea how hard she is. I'll say yes. Besides, getting the attack up now is fine. Her hit count is quite high if she decides to do Buster, so I'm thinking we don't put that much into NP gain. I'll do that. She only did one Buster, but it was good enough. Guarded the defense down. Feels bad. The defense down is really nice because it works with your attack up, so it really adds up. Especially if you crit next turn, but no luck. Damn. The AI is being smart. Look at that shit. I'm all ready to crit, and I just did my sure hit, but now they cast evade. Well, I guess we use this turn for NP gain then. That sucks. Smart hag indeed. Like, I have my attack buff, right? But it's not gonna last now, and it's going to waste. And like, yeah, I can go for NP gain, but look, I'm just gonna overcharge, right? Oh boy, there's some damage. Yo, look at this. I'm at 150, right? So like that was not great. We're actually in trouble if she procs insta-death. Her insta-death chance is not very good, but because I just lost Guts, if we proc insta-death, we're in bad shape. Okay, we got the defense down on that one. I really do need to change that to slow-mo because you see the moon for like half a second back there if it's in fast mode. We're probably gonna win now though, because now we use Atlas. And if she keeps spamming evade at good times though, we might lose, but Ku is really dangerous now though on this turn because you get that really big attack up, like it's wild. Can't decide if I want to go the Buster route or try to get my NP a bit more. I guess I'll go for the NP. Do that. I wish that Buster had crit. God damn it, Scath! I don't think. Oh wow, you fool though. She was so smart and she did evade, but then she was so stupid and she did a bunch of buster attacks. And now I have my NP and I have sure hit. But we actually had some wiggle room here though because we still have guts. So because we could do attack here and then she might not even pop guts this turn, but if she did, then we could attack again. So even if we didn't have sure hit right now, we would still win. She put up a good fight though. That was respectable for being a neutral enemy. You know, 400k is, you know, generally not like that hard, but you know, her gimmicks, well, not even gimmicks, just her AI actually did well here. So the funny thing is, a lot of old AI sometimes is harder because a lot of newer AI is scripted when they cast their evade, and a lot of old AI isn't. So a lot of times old AI, if they get lucky, will just cast like their evades and shit like a lot. Where a lot of the newer AI, it's more like they'll do it at a set time no matter what, but then they won't do it after that unless you break their health bar and like they go into another health bar and stuff like that. So like I remember, and this has happened twice. I remember it happened the first time I ever played the event on my main account, like my original JP account, you know, that I was just playing the event on. This happened, and it happened again to me on NA. Funnily enough, I don't remember which event it is, but there's an old event where one of the farming nodes, you fought Ushi. And it was old AI, and so she would literally just cast her evade at random. There was no scripting to it whatsoever. And I remember one time that I did it way back in the day, she cast her evade every turn for like 7 turns, and I had no one with sure hit. And that happened to me on NA as well. And I was just like, motherfucker, right? But they don't do that anymore. Most of the like more modern AI is more scripted with their survival skills. Yeah, I wish I remember what event that was, but I remember that happening twice, so it was kind of funny. Alright, Scath finally has all of her bloody interludes and shit done, and now I just have to get a million Void Dust, and then I have to decide who I'm giving my Lancer Gems to next, because Romulus is about done. He's like 10-10-8, or 10-10-7, so I think like those blue things, and he's done. I kind of want to get, I kind of want to get her skills up, because she's kind of fun. And then who else? There's a couple other ones. Oh yeah, and I got some low stars too that I could give Lancer Gems to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Scath's gonna fit on the totem pole. At least you know, in Kidu and Ku and all that, they're 10-10-10. Actually, I've got a few Lancers at 10-10. I mean, Fion's 10-10-10. He was actually pretty high priority for me. Alright, let's go to our ult account to mess around. Besides, actually, I think I've got some interludes I need to do over there. And because we're in a dead week, now is a good time. Yeah, she can spook you. I don't think she's story locked or anything. No, Mothman cannot solo. There are so many things Mothman can't solo. He it's crazy how many like basic ass stages he just gets destroyed by. But then he can also solo wacky things that like no one else could possibly solo. See, that's why people think like he's a good solo unit, but he is absolutely overrated. And the reason he's overrated is because people will make videos basically every time he can solo something, and some of the things that he can solo, no one else can solo. So then people assume, oh, he's the best solo unit. But then they just skip over so much content that he can't solo. Like, it's crazy, like, how much basic-ass bosses that he can't solo. Like, there's just a lot of styles of challenge quests and whatnot that he's really bad for. But there are, again, because of the way his NP works, there are some boss fights that only pretty much he can solo, so... Yeah, I don't think Mothman could do Lost Belt Forgery either. I don't think he could do the Angra interlude, even if Angra wasn't an Avenger. Like, if you made Angra something else, I don't think he could do that either, just because you have... You know, their normal card damage is just so high, and you're not going to have invulnerability every turn. You are just going to get one shot. So this is a context where Ku does better than normal, I will say. Like, because there's certain things that Ku can't do, right? There's some stages that, like, a lot of other people can do, but Ku can't for various reasons and stuff. Although I will say, overall, I've noticed Ku's total solo track record is amazing, but there are times where his toolkit just isn't the right thing for the job. But like where Ku does really well there are certain style of bosses they make from time to time where their normal card damage is just so high, they basically want the boss to one-shot you. Like, you can only survive, if you have any gaps in your survival, you just die, right? If you don't have guts, evade, invulnerability, you're dead, right? Like, they just hit that hard. There's been quite a few bosses like that. And Enkidu doesn't do as well in those situations, right? Because Enkidu can't really take advantage. Like, having a 15k heal doesn't really help you when you go from 100 to 0, right? It doesn't really work, right? So, and because Enkidu has gaps in his evade, and even if he can stun, there's still gaps. There are times where, like there's a lot of stuff. Even though Enkidu is a fucking god tier solo unit, there's style of bosses where he just gets wrecked. Where Ku does really well because Ku can have such a lot. He has such a large amount of time where he cannot die, right? It doesn't matter if the boss is doing 9 damage or 1 damage. He's just not going to die that turn. Because he has so many turns like that, where he can go back to back to back, where he just is not going to die. Because a lot of times when they make bosses like that, you don't need to live that long, right? You need to live like to get to like 3 health bars or whatever. But like a lot of times, like you don't have to live that long. The problem is most people they'll have at least 1 turn where they're open and then they're just dead. And there's enough health bars or gimmicks in the fight where they just can't quite make it. And a lot of times Ku ends up being one of the absolute best units in those kind of fights. And I'll say this, I do think Ku is the best solo unit for fighting archers. Like if you're fighting an archer, Ku is just the best one. Unless they have divinity, and then it is probably Enkidu at that point. But against neutral and all the other wacky classes and stuff, it depends on all kinds of weird stuff. And Ku Ulter to this day is one of the best solo units. And so is Herc. Oh my god, Herc is such a good solo unit right now. Like, I don't think people realize, like, just how much stuff people have had this idea that ever since, like, 2.0, he's been bad. Like, but Herc could still solo so many fucking bosses in 2.0. Like, it is ridiculous how many bosses in 2.0 Herc could still solo. And then now they buffed him, and he lives longer, and Herc is another one that's really good when the boss does 9 damage, because it doesn't matter if the boss is doing 9 damage, because Herc has a million stacks of guts, and guts just doesn't give a fuck, right? There are times where, Herc is actually, disadvantaged because of maybe dots, or because of, you need an event CE, or whatever, right? There are times where, his toolkit doesn't make sense either, but that's every unit. There is no one unit that is just better. Like, there is no solo unit in this game that is just way better. People think it's Mothman, but it's just not. Like, good god, there's so many bosses he can't not solo. And even a lot of the ones that he can actually take more RNG than people realize. But he's still good, though. Mothman is still good. I'm not saying Mothman is bad, but he's definitely overrated. But he still should be rated highly, I would say. Anyway, but there is no solo unit in this game that is just, like, better than everyone else. They're just... There's so many apples and oranges. Like, oh yeah, if the boss is XYZ, then these solo units are good. But if they're, DJQ, then these other solo units are good. Like, there's just a lot of stuff like that. But I do think Herc is one of the absolute big boys. Herc's one of the big boys. Ku's one of the big boys. Enkidu's really up there. Oh my god, because Enkidu counters archers really hard. Enkidu is almost always able to solo any archer. And then also Berserker. And then... so much stuff if they just have divinity, and then always if they have like threat to humanity and stuff, like, so it's just, his range is massive. Mothman's good on a team if the enemy has like a high hit count single target NP, because then what you do is you just make sure you get Mothman's NP before the enemy gets their NP, right? And then you always use his NP to have taunt and invulnerability, and then the enemy hit count gives you a lot of NP gain back, and then you're probably going to get your NP again before the enemy. Like, if the enemy is single target, Mothman is amazing. If they're AoE, then it's not so good. But if the enemy is single target, Mothman is really good in the team context. Unless there's, like, gimmicks that are against him. Because he doesn't have anything to deal with, like, Pierce. Because people act like Pierce Vulnerability wrecks Ku, and it does make Ku less good. But Ku can still handle those kinds of things because he has Guts and that kind of stuff. Like, Guts is really good for solo units. And that's one reason why, like, Hijikata is really good. And now he's even better because now he has his own built-in Guts. Because, like, a lot of times for Hijikata to work, he needed a Gut CE. But now he can have a Gut CE and his Gut skill. And his stack. So, like, it's going to be really easy now for Hijikata to have a Gut CE. And so the game is smart, thankfully, and it will use Hijikata's skill Guts first. So what you do is you use his skill Guts for his first death. And because his cooldown's pretty short, then you have your CE Guts go off, maybe use a Mystico or something, and then you use your skill Guts again. So he didn't just gain 1 turn of extra survivability from his buff, he actually gained 2 most of the time. Because you cast it first, it goes off, and by the time you get through your other survivability stuff, his new gut skill is back. And then you do it again. So Hijikata basically gained 2 turns of survival. That's big. Like, that's really big. Like, when you're a BBB unit, 2 turns is a lot of playtime, right? So it's like, look at Gajuna, right? Hijikata could already solo Gajuna, which was really impressive, but it was pretty close, and you needed a little bit of luck. But now that Hijikata basically lives for 2 more turns, he'll fucking annihilate Gajuna. There's no, you don't even care what the RNG is. You have so much extra value now, there's like, easy, like fucking easy. Like, I really think Hijikata is going to skyrocket, because, you know, Berserkers are so effective against every class, right? So it's like, you don't care if they're an Avenger, you don't care if they're a Saber or they're a Lancer, or, you know, there's a few classes you care about, but, because like, even Rulers don't do so hot against Berserkers generally, and are certainly not against Avengers and things like that, where, you know, Berserkers is like, as long as it's not a foreigner, they don't really care. And actually, I'm pretty sure Hercules can solo Abigail now. I know before Hercules got buffed, Hercules could do like 3 lives of what's her name, of Abigail. And now that he's super buffed, I think he might be able to solo it. I'm not sure. You know what? We might be able to test it, because I want to say this account, I think, has Abigail. Like, I think I saved the boss battle. I might not have. I don't know. I might have done Uriel and the Bull instead. Yeah, I think I think that's Uriel and the Bull. I think it's NA. I think NA. Yeah, it's NA. NA is the one that I kept Abigail. So we'll have to wait then. We'll have to wait until Herc gets his buff in NA. Then I can test it. Yeah, that's Uriel and Asteriel. So which is a nice stage. It's actually a really nice stage for testing solos and whatnot. But shit, that sucks. I really wanted to see Hercules against Abigail now, because I think it might still be a little bit out of his range. You know, that's a lot of health to get through when you're being counterclassed, right? If he was just at neutral, it'd be fine, but being counterclassed is really rough. But I will say, he's an amazing cleanup unit now for Abigail, like, because your team is probably going to get through a life or 2, maybe 3 lives, right? And he'll easily be able to clean up what's left, so. He's such a broken unit, dude. Yeah, I guess we could do it on the newbie account. You know, we could just play the newbie account. You know, fuck it. Let's just go play the newbie account. Well, maybe do that tomorrow. Like, we're already kind of far into the stream. We should do that tomorrow, because that way the VOD is like just the newbie account, because I kind of want that in order. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. That way it's all in one place and whatnot. But yeah, I was gonna say we might as well, because I forgot. Yeah, we can just start doing Lost Belts or Epic of Remnants or whatever. Like, I don't have to wait on anything. Like the 1 to 3 star account, a lot of times I have to, like, you know, prep. But I don't really have to prep on the newbie account, because I'm allowed to use whatever the fuck I want, other than, you know, Merlin and shit. But use a command spell to kill our entire team. Yeah, that would be nice. A lot of times what you do is, and this is a skill, and you have to like plan and stuff, that's good. A lot of team fights, you can set up your team that's going to guarantee your last unit gets a proper solo, like intro, if you will. You save your Mystic Code, especially if the enemy's an AoE and P. There's a lot of setups where you can kind of manipulate like the kill order. Like, let me show this here. I don't have a boss I can show it on, but I can show the team. Well, here, I'll go into a stage so we can have the support. We'll like summon a Herc or some bullshit. What interludes does this account even have? Oh, I think I need to just straight up do their strengthening quests. I just haven't done those yet. Alright, so let's say you were wanting your coup or your Herc or whatever to like get a nice proper last man standing like intro, especially the Herc, because the way Herc works, it's kind of a big deal. Thanks to the way protection from arrows work, coup doesn't care as much. But so what you would want is, so if Herc's right here, these are literally not the units you'd want to bring, I'm just like clicking random shit. But so if the enemy has an AoE NP, you know, you can make sure 3 units will die, right? You could just not use survival skills or whatever. And like if you need, like the numbers are off, you can like use the survival skill on 1 unit or whatever. But so like maybe while you're waiting for them to get their NP, or maybe you survive the first NP, and then on the second NP, then you let your teams die. However you want it to be, you basically need enough units to die that like when the 3 die, that you've had 5 deaths total, right? So maybe Musashi dies, right? And then he comes in, and then you let him die because maybe it's a taunt wall or whatever, you know, and then 100 Face comes in, and then you let the AoE MP kill your 3 units, and then Hercules comes in clean, right? That can legitimately work really well, right? Because it lets you save your Mysticode easier if you're wanting them to die. So you basically just get as much value out of that front that you have. Like, you try to get as much out of them as you can, and then you just, whatever's left of the boss, you know, generally Hercules or whatever, is probably going to be able to clean up. That kind of setup actually works for so many bosses, because Herc does have so much value. If Herc's a bit short on being able to solo it, you just do that, and he can then pretty much always solo it. It's crazy. Yeah, I definitely don't agree with at Media's tier list. I disagree with it on many fronts. But that most people don't seem to take it too seriously at this point, so. Let's, you know what? Let's use Herc. I know this stage is probably so easy. This is so overkill, but we're sitting here talking about Herc. I kind of just feel like, using the man himself. I like how his buff literally changed his typical Mysticode from Atlas to, or from Anniversary Blonde to Atlas. Sometimes you still use Anniversary Blonde because you don't need the extra survivability, but, it's kind of funny. Thankfully, getting Herc is incredibly easy, though. 1, you can reroll to get them, and 2, they give out free 4-star, you know, tickets, you know, roughly once a year, and you can always just pick them from that, which is a pretty wise thing to do if you're wanting to, you know, make sure you got good options. Nice background. But yeah, like, it's funny that because my main account doesn't have Herc, but I've had many opportunities to get him. I just, you know, I always use my 4-star tickets on something else. I'm starting to regret. But the reason I did, I honestly thought, and statistically speaking, I was correct. I should have Hercules by now, right? Because I've been playing the game for so long. I should have just been spooked by him by now. I literally have every other 4-star that is like a default, you know, one that can spook you. I have every single one except for him. And that's even with me rolling on White Day, right? So that is just bad luck. If I had known I was gonna have this much trouble getting a copy of Hercules, I would have used him. I would have picked him from one of my tickets by now. I'm probably the only reason I'm not sure I'm going to pick him on the next free 4-star ticket is because I really want NP2 Beowulf, right? After NP2, I don't care. Like, generally 4 and 5 stars, as long as they're NP2, I'm happy, right? And I like Beowulf so much, right? I really, really like Beowulf, and I would love my Beowulf to be NP2, because I have him at NP1 right now. So I'm either going to pick NP2 Beowulf, because I'm planning on grailing Beowulf to 90 at some point. But I either go with that, or I go with Herc. Because of my newbie account, and because it got Hercules, I don't know why I did BBB there, but because of that, the newbie account, I might not pick Hercules, but I feel like, you know, that can be my place to have fun with Hercules. And, you know, but I don't know, we'll see. I've always liked Hercules, you know, he's the OG Berserker and all that, so we'll see. But normally I would cast Guts before Evade, but because I don't think these guys will necessarily kill us, I think we just get the value out of Evade now, and they can come off cooldown potentially sooner, so. I mean, there's a lot of things I like about Beowulf, but I mean, I would have surely by now, chat, like my regulars, right? Now, not everyone here's a regular, but like of my regular viewers, I would imagine it's obvious by now. I like characters that are like, you know, Ku, Beowulf, Hercules, Canis, you know, Mordred. There's a rather obvious theme here, right? Like I generally like those kinds of characters, right? So obviously Beowulf, you know, is among, you know, that kind of thing. But I really like Beowulf because first off, I've known about his legend ever since I was quite young. Like, it was a legend I've known about since I was quite young, and it's pretty cool. And I especially like the part of his story that most people don't know about, which is the stuff that happens after all the Grendel stuff. But most people know, like, oh yeah, he's that guy that kills Grendel, right? But like the way they kind of like how they have him become a good, like, you know, more like proper wise king at the end, but then kind of still go out like a badass and all that. Like, that's awesome stuff, right? Like, he gains more wisdom about how to be a good leader than most most kings in Legends, right? Like, a lot of legendary kings aren't actually very good kings, right? But Beowulf actually does become one. And he's not the one you would think, you know, everyone's like, you think it's going to be Arthur or whatever, right? But, like, you know, Beowulf is the one that actually, you know, kind of, you know, gets some really nice wisdom at the end, which is nice. You know, that's really cool. So I've always really liked Beowulf because of that. And then in FGO, they actually represented that, right? They got that. Now, they don't really show it in, like, the main story too much. But, like, in Beowulf's bio and FGO and his character material and his Bond CE and all that kind of stuff, they got it, right? They know he's not just that badass guy. You know, he also goes on to become a really, you know, wise king and all that kind of shit. So I was like, yeah, I always like Beowulf. FGO actually did a good job with him and stuff. So yeah, he's one of my favorites. I hope he gets an animation update. But thankfully, his animations are noticeably better than, like, day one animations. But still, I'd like him to get one. Yeah, in Lost Belt 1, they do touch on that stuff, but that's because Lost Belt 1 literally was, like, trying to fix, like, the writer for that was literally, like, trying to fix the fuck-ups from America, right? Because America did such a bad job with Billy and Beowulf that it's kind of obvious that Lost Belt 1 was trying to fix some of that nonsense. But yeah, so honestly, Beowulf is a really high on my list of awesome characters because, you know, not only do I like his legend, but in FGO, I love his voice actor. I like, you know, he's like this really nice mix of being a bro, but then like a badass berserker, but then also the wisdom thing. So it's like, it's a really nice mix for a character. And then I know his powers are really cool too. Like if you read his character material book, he's got some really cool powers, so. Honestly, if VC Braun didn't really need to be redeemed, though, it was only the anime that really didn't do him justice. The books did fine, so that really wasn't an issue. But the anime did VC Braun quite dirty, but the anime did a lot of things dirty, so probably should have cast that last turn, but whatever. Hey, look, we're fighting a Hydra again. You know what's funny? Remember that Hydra fight that I made that video for and how we had to work so hard? Because like that fight was designed in a way that was very difficult for Hercules, right? Because like Hercules is all about medium damage, and that boss would heal based on like the damage it does, so you kind of need to kill it all at once. But now that Hercules has got his buff, he would destroy that fucking Hydra. Like he could beat it before, but you had to really work and be smart about it. Now you could just absolutely destroy it. Like you just fucking melt them because you get a million buster ups. I'm so sad. We're just gonna kill this guy. I want to like show off all the buster up bullshit that Hercules can do now. We're just gonna murder this guy. But yeah, the books did okay with the Beast of Braun. They actually explained the thing is, Lost Belt 1 didn't like make shit up. Like all that stuff about him regretting killing his master and all that stuff, that's in the books, but it's not in the anime. It's and like his like I can't quite remember, but didn't they cut his flashback in the anime, or it was like 5 seconds? I think that's what they did. I think his flashback is literally 5 seconds. And they don't explain anything. It's like a burning doll and that's it, right? It's like, what the fuck, right? Like it's really stupid. But yeah, Lost Belt 1, I really liked Lost Belt 1. I enjoyed it. I think they cut Chiron's flashback too. Either that or they just made it ungodly short. And I think they cut Frankenstein's as well, actually. They cut most of the flashbacks. And even Mordred's, which they didn't, like they put more time into, they still butchered. Because Mordred is actually supposed to have 2 flashbacks throughout APOC. And they fused the 2 into 1. And they cut out a lot of what's in the flashbacks. Like they cut out a lot of, which really I was really frustrated by, because I never like hated Mordred, but I was like when they first made APOC, like so APOC used to exist as just a canceled game, right? It was going to be a PC game, and they got canceled, but they put out like the character material books for them anyway. So they explained the characters and their powers and all that. But it wasn't anything, and so people were first introduced to Mordred through just Mordred had a character material book but no story, right? And honestly, at the time, this was way back. Oh my god, this was so many years ago, dude. But at the time, you know, I think we just had Fate Hollow, Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero. I think that was it, and I think maybe Fate Extra was up and coming. I think that was like all there was. And at the time, you know, I wasn't a huge Saber fan. I didn't like hate her, but like, you know, I've never been a huge Saber fan. And And I was like, oh god, it's another Saber face. Because I think I remember I had seen that Fate Extra was coming out, and it was Red Saber, right? So you gotta remember at that point, you had Fate Stay Night, Saber is the Saber, right? You know, Artoria is the Saber. Fate Zero, Artoria is the Saber. Fate Hollow, Artoria is the Saber. And then Fate Extra is talked about, and it's Red Artoria. You know, especially if you look at the original Fate Extra stuff, Nero doesn't look like she does now. Nero used to look like exactly like Artoria, but red. Like seriously, go look up Fate Extra. She used to just be Red Artoria. But Red Fate Extra wasn't even out yet, so I don't think we even knew it was Nero yet. But it was just Red Artoria. So at that point, it was, you know, it was like, why is the Saber always Artoria, right? So then I see this you know, canceled APOC game and the character materials for it, and I saw Mordred, and I was like, oh, it's another Artoria. It's like, okay, whatever, right? I didn't really even look into her that much. And I looked at some of her powers, and I looked into Siegfried a lot, and I saw that, you know, she fought Siegfried and all that. But yeah, they had that and all that stuff, like with their fight. They had all that in the character material book, but it was actually a little bit different back then. Anyway, and then the actual books came out, and I remember when the APOC books first came out, I did not read them for a while. I just wasn't. I really just wasn't all that interested in it at the time. And then later, I finally actually read them, and I didn't mind Mordred, but I didn't like start to really like Mordred until her second flashback. Then I was like, okay, this is actually, you know, a lot more in depth and interesting. I'm like, okay, you know, I actually like this character, right? And I started to like her a little bit more just throughout the story and stuff. And I liked her master a lot because her master is like the best shit ever. Anyway, but so a lot of the stuff that like why I thought she was an interesting character and like well done is not in the anime. Like if there's like, you know, they hit some of the major story beats in the anime, but like a lot of the character motivation and psychology that's going on is just not in the anime. They just cut it, and so that was very disappointing to me. Like that getting cut, and then a VC Braun, like the fight. The number one thing I was looking forward to in the anime was a VC Braun's big fight scene, you know, with Adam and everything, and they just butchered it. I was like, they murdered my baby, right? That was 100% the thing I was the most looking forward to. And they just absolutely destroyed it. Not only did they destroy it and not make Adam seem half as awesome as he is, but they cut out all the cool Chiron stuff, Hi Arjuna, and like the fight scene is so much shorter, and there's so much like in the book, it's like this chess match between Chiron and Adam. Basically, it's not that at all in the anime, right? And they just cut out a lot of like really cool feats of like strength on both sides, which really sucks. I'm trying to remember when they started trying to make Nero more different from Artoria. Like when they started like making her hair different and stuff. I don't know when exactly that started. It might have been CCC. I don't know. I'm not sure. CCC might not even have done it yet. Because in CCC it's Nero Bride, and it might have just been Nero Bride a different hair, and then they kind of retroactively put, you know, started changing Nero. But nowadays, Nero actually looks pretty different from Artoria, but still has the same like face structure. But in the early days, it was exactly the same. Like, holy crap. I don't want to use someone at neutral. Yeah, let's do that. That we should do. I've never really looked into the Nero route of CCC, I'm not gonna lie, because it has Gil in it, so that's the only thing that's the only route that actually matters. God, they might buff Hunterface. You know, the player base at large does not realize how good she is. I feel like my 1-3 account really showed her value, though. My God, like the amount of value she has gotten throughout, not just that one fight, but just in general, it has been so high. It's very noticeable that her total value is much higher than the other low stars. Should I burn Okita for rare prisms on my low star account? I mean, if the whole point of your account is to do low star stuff and you don't have anniversary blonde yet and things like that, then yes, I would. But if you're planning on just like doing low star stuff often, but you still want to maybe use some of your favorite characters from time to time and you happen to like Okita, then I would keep her. But if you're going to be like, yep, low stars forever no matter what, then yeah, you might as well burn her. There's literally no point. Also, if you don't like her, you might as well burn her anyway because rare prisms are actually useful. But yeah, it comes down to like what your account situation is and what the goal of the account is. You know, maybe you already have Anniversary Blonde and you've already got Melty Sweetheart and you've already got like the Anti-Divinity one, right? Because if you don't have much need for rare prisms, then you might as well wait and just, you know, kind of see how things go. Oh, and I was talking about servants that like yell a lot and are like meatheads and you know, like fighting and all that kind of stuff. I just realized I did not mention Tenth, and she has some of the best yelling in the game, so that was a mistake. Angry smash people, you know, I especially like the angry smash people though that aren't like, you know, on the surface you might think they're just, you know, they just like to fight, but when there is more to them than that, right? That's what's not, because like that was a big thing I liked about Ku was. Like, Ku, it straight up says this in his character material, right? You know, he gets, like, worked up into a frenzy when he's fighting, right? And, you know, he kind of goes a little crazy, but generally Ku's pretty, you know, calm and reasonable and you know, kind of a bro, right? Like, I like that mix of things because people have this idea that people that are, like to fight and stuff are just, you know, stupid, but that's generally not the case. They normally just get worked up, right? It's not the same thing. Yeah, like Hot Wheels. Yeah, Hot Wheels is another one. That's why I was so fucking annoyed that I used, like, you know, 350 SQ to get Asclepius MP5, and we didn't get any Hot Wheels, but, you know, thankfully, you know, my friends got Hot Wheels, but I will never let that. It's just, God, that was so... Because it would have been so easy. It would have been so easy for me to at least have gotten one Hot Wheels there, right? It was pretty fucking likely, but nope. Nothing. One of these days, I've thought about picking him for my free, you know, 4-star as well. But I don't like, oh yeah, obviously Mori. I grailed Mori to 100 immediately for a reason, right? I don't like picking, you know, 4-stars that are gonna be NP1 then for God knows how long, right? It just doesn't feel good. I love Hot Wheels, right? But because I love them, I don't want like a random NP1 Hot Wheels, you know, when all my friends are like, you know, NP2 and 3 and stuff. So, you know, like I said, if NP2, I'm happy, right? That's why I would rather take a servant that I have sitting at NP1 and then like, you know, fix them and make them NP2 and then they're in like really good shape, right? Opposed to just getting another one sitting there at NP1. That's kind of my thought process on that. Okay, I think we NP this guy and then art the other one, though. He has double defense buff. That kind of sucks. I don't know if we're actually going to kill him then. We'll try. NP5 or bust? Yeah, that's not my... I'm only NP5 or bust on like 3 stars, right? But on 4 and 5 stars. The only 4-star even that I really wanted to get like NP5, let me think. So what? Well, I mean, there's a lot of 4-stars I would like to get NP5 actually. I mean, like I'm not gonna complain if I get NP5 Beowulf. That'd be pretty sweet, right? But I'm not like, oh my god, I'm gonna blow all my SQ and then like ruin my chances of getting another servant I like down the road, right? So generally, it's not that big. I will say though, if they rated up Beowulf right now, I would definitely roll to get him. So, but let me think. I don't even have. I think Canis might be one of my only 5-star 4-stars. Now that I think about it. And I think Fionn is like NP4, but some of that's just bullshit luck. I did roll on him when he was rated up the second time, but I just started to get spooked by him a lot. So, and my main account has one. My main account has one NP5 5-star, and it took me years and years to do that. And my old account has and my old account only has 1 too. It almost has 2, but it only has 1, and that also took years to do. I never NP5 5-stars when they first come out. That's never happened. Like, not even once. It's never happened. Even when I save up a lot. It almost happened with Gil, because I had so much SQ saved up then. I almost NP5'd him, but it did not happen. And he's still not NP5, which is actually really shitty. But, cause yeah, I rolled on Gilgamesh that one time and got him NP4, and I've rolled on him so many times since then on my ult account, and I've never gotten another copy of him. But hopefully next time. I'm sitting on like 500 SQ, and a bunch of summon tickets, so the next time he gets rated up, I'm hoping that'll be the one. But I don't care that much. I'm honestly not crying that I don't have NP5 Gil, right? He's so good at like NP3 or whatever, like who cares? And I have NP4, so it's not a big deal. At this, I'm honestly just doing it now because why not? Like, what else is my ult account gonna roll on? And it would be cool to have like, you know, maximum Gilgamesh, because, you know, he's one of my favorite characters, so. But yeah, I've never been upset that I didn't have NP5 Gil. It's never really bothered me. The only thing that's bothered me is that I somehow got NP5 Achilles first, right? I'm not crying, you're crying. Wait, what? Pent is pretty short. Yeah, she is pretty short. I wish we'd get like her like full-on like older version, which they showed in the APOC anime, which is kind of cool. And she can actually return to that form even as her like not like that's what she would look like as I think a lancer, I think they said, or a rider. I can't remember. She has other classes. I can't remember what the fuck is what. Anyway, that's what she would look like in some of the other classes, but her berserker self can look like that, but it's like only when she activates like that other NP of hers and then she dies afterwards. Okay, let's see. This is only wave 2. Oh god. She's in APOC just for a very short period of time. She's in Achilles' NP because like his NP like goes through his life and that's kind of how it works. And you can see Pent in that part. It's not for a very long period of time. But it's her like, you know, proper you know, older self. She basically looks like Berserker Pent, but she has longer hair and she's taller. Right? That's pretty much what that is. Does look completely green. Yeah, there is that. Actually, in some versions of the Battle of Troy, there is no Pent. And I don't really remember when that kind of stuff got more expanded on. But generally, like the Iliad, she's in it. But she's fairly minor. And again, it depends on the version, though. Like, I remember the first version of that story I ever read, she was very minor, and like Achilles kills her without even noticing that she's like an Amazon leader or anything. He just thinks she's a grunt. Like he just he's just you know hacking through people and he just like generically kills her, right? Like he's just so much stronger than she is. He doesn't even take note of her, and that's why she's so pissed, pretty much. But that's like literally all she was in it. But then other versions, you know, her role varies to a degree. Like she pretty much always dies to Achilles, but sometimes they have like a big dramatic fight, and sometimes they don't. Like sometimes he kind of just kills her, but sometimes they have like a big, you know, dramatic fight. But she always loses. I don't think there's any version where she wins. This is Suzuka Gozen's interlude. Look at us landing every buff. Although I think we had the buff success chance thing, so actually that was guaranteed, which that's kind of nice. Yeah, I like Super Orion. He's pretty cool. They did a pretty decent job with him. His gameplay is, you know, a bit strong, but it's still, you know, fun. Like, it's pretty unique and everything, so. The monkeys were harder than Kiyohime. So this is, I did not mean for this to happen, but the Kiyohime thing is like turned into a meme on my channel. Like every video I have posted since that video, there has pretty much always been like, but can Kiyohime do this in one poster card? Like I've had comments like that on like every video now. I am so annoyed with some of the people though on that video because, again, at no point in that video did I take a shot at anyone. I didn't say an insulting word to anybody in that video, and for good reason. I intentionally made sure not to do that. And the guy who made the original comment was totally cool about it, right? And he even got the, you know, got the point and everything, right? But then like so many people like take that video as like a hit piece against Kiyohime or that guy, and it's literally neither of those things. Although legitimately, I don't think Kiyohime is that good of a 3-star, but the point of that video, first of all, the comparison, I don't know how everyone misses this. The comparison is to Baldi and Saber Gildias, right? Kiyohime is just the example of like a damage threshold, right? I don't know why everybody misses that. But I've been called so many bad names by Kiyohime fans from that video. Like a lot of Like, I've had so many nasty comments on that video. So I've had to delete more comments on that video than any other video. And I normally won't, like, delete a comment just for if it's nasty, but, like, if you say fuck or shit, I'm not gonna delete the comment. But, you know, some degree of vulgar language and, like, racial slurs and stuff, that I will delete. And I've deleted more comments on that video than any other video, so that should, you know, that says something. Let's not use a saber for this, because I think that'll be too easy. Oh, Kai got Brunhilde, son of a bitch. I did get Brunhilde, but it was only on my ult. I did not get it on the main, and the main is the one that used the most summon tickets, so I feel kind of salty about that. Oh yeah, actually, let me see. I could probably level her now that we did some of the lottery. I did not do much lottery though on this account. I actually don't know how much I did. Let me look. This account, I did the least of Hagfest on this account. Wow, yeah, 13. Well, probably gonna be about 14. So I got some tickets left over here, but yeah, I just did not have time to play this account for that event, and it didn't really need it, so that's kind of like whatever. But you know, I got the stuff that matters. I got the command codes, I got the CE, you know, all that stuff. I'm just mad that Steve got into Smash, to be honest. Wait, what? Did they just announce someone in Smash or something that I'm unaware of? I haven't really kept up with Smash Bros. News. I've literally no idea what anyone is talking about there. Steve from Minecraft is in Smash Brothers? That's really dumb. I feel like there's, like, it's a big game and everything, but I just feel like there's so many better picks than that. It's not like anybody, like, people don't like Minecraft for that character, right? Like, I'm confused. That sounds like a meme, but I'm guessing it's true because so many people are saying it is. Okay, what level even is my Broomhilder? I have no idea. Oh, she's actually max ascended. I need to fix the art though. I gotta go with stage 2, but I didn't realize she was that far along. I literally forgot that I had her because I didn't get her on my main, and I kind of just forgot. It's so stupid though. I have Zigguard on my main, and then Brunhilde on my ult. By the way, Faust, I need to add you again. I had to remove you because I was trying to summon an Okita to see your animation update, and I literally just could not summon the one guy I had that had Okito. And you kept popping up over and over and over again, so I had to try to remove you to see if that would help. So yeah, if I can add you again, that would be fine. I actually was about to remove myself because I for some reason I kept my fucking crap account kept popping up when I hadn't logged on in like a day, and then the person I was trying to summon hadn't logged on in like 11 hours, and I could not understand why. I have no problem with Smash though, like adding like a character from another franchise from time to time, but like there's so many characters from like Nintendo games and stuff that like aren't in, like especially like side characters and stuff, to like when they have like they're like they have like a main character in the game but no other characters, right? It's just kind of silly, man. It's really rare that I use silver XP cards, but I'm kind of lazy right now. Oh right, my newbie account can get these faux items. I might have already bought them, I'm not sure, but that's good. There'll be another unit to give you max fode. Because my god, the newbie account needs it. Yeah. Faust, how do you feel about Meth, you know, Clown Boy? I'm quite curious. The announcement shut down Twitter for 10 minutes? Oh god, I'm guessing it didn't go over very well. I don't like him on FGO, feels bad. No epic Faust versus Meph nonsense. Oh, I forgot to level her to 80. Whatever. Do it in a second. You know what would be cool if Zigguard's Ascension state changed depending on which one of hers you used? Uh-oh. I don't want to buy another one. But chat's gonna give me bullshit. Chat's gonna give me so much bullshit if I leave this at 79. Alright, I'll tell you what I'll do because I need to do this anyway. That's what Smash needs, more dudes with swords. I just like how there's like a million Fire Emblem characters. And Fire Emblem as a franchise has characters with bows, you know, battle axes, spears, halberds, you know, but you know they don't ever pick any of those characters. They only pick the fucking, you know, generic jackass with a sword. Like, I legitimately don't think the Fire Emblem hate would be a thing if they would just, you know, pick characters that okay, we need more than this. Although we could get a super success or something. Like, there's a lot of variety in character designs in Fire Emblem, right? But you would not know that from playing Smash. Like, you absolutely would not know that. Yeah, Hector would have been nice. Hector's like my favorite main character from a Fire Emblem game, I'm pretty sure. He's pretty old. He's like, because his personality was different and he had some cool character development and stuff. And he used an axe, which was nice. I actually think that game had a lot of good main characters for the most part. Like Eliwood was cool, Lyn was cool, like that game did pretty well on their main characters. That is not a good use of one of those embers though. Okay, we'll do this. That's better. I was thinking mana prisms, but that's quite a bit of overkill XP if I use that. So okay, that's finally over with. Where can we get to skill rank wise? Well, for soloing, getting this one up is the most important, but for team play, it's not. But I kind of favor soloing, so. Actually, a lot of times if you're doing challenge quests and you're not using a lot of rare units, also having your survivability skill have a minimum cooldown can be really important too. Fucking crowns. I've never farmed crowns on this account, which is probably obvious by the amount that I have, but why couldn't I have gotten her on my main? Like, it's so... Or gotten Zigguard on my ult. It's like, why does it have to be like this? We're talking about 2k foe. I have 2k foe, Achilles, Gil, Protoku, Gwaine. This account needs QP pretty bad, yeah. It's 'cause I play this account so rarely now because it's like my main ult, but because it's a fairly established account, I don't need to like play it that much. My Ziggurat on JP and Brunhilde on an A. Yep. That's how it goes. And like Rex has you, but not Horsebindo. And I have Horsebindo, but I don't have you. Although I do have Summer you, though. I'm not sure if that counts the same, but I really do. I'm really glad I have Horsebindo, though. He's awesome. And he's green. I mean, come on. Wait, isn't that that's a different... That's not the... I think we were saving that for like the enemy we were fighting for a video or something. I feel like I should use Brunhilde because I just maxed her, but I kind of wanted to use someone at like a pure neutral, right? And she's not that. But she is AoE, and Berserker's not a full counter class, or like a half counter class. And if they're AoE, then it's kind of rough. So I guess we'll do that. Level 2 George is actually really nice because then he's like above all your bullshit. Like all this nonsense, you know, is all level 1, right? Oh god, oh god. Wait, that's right, this account, I forgot. It wasn't just my main, my fucking god. It's so stupid. I hate that so much, dude. It's so dumb. I forgot about that. It's so dumb. Like my main, cause in total, between the two accounts, no SQ was used, but like 90 summon tickets was used. And I got like 4 Summer Kiaras, and I got no Brunhilders on my main, and then they all thankfully got Brunhilde. So stupid. I fucking hate that, dude. And I didn't get like anything else either. It wasn't like in those summon tickets, I got like other 4 stars, you know, I didn't get like a random, you know, Herc or anything, right? No. God, although my main did get, I remember my main got like Yuri Pirates instead of Brunhilde, and then like, I don't know, Dion or something, I don't remember what the fuck it was. I cannot believe I got Summer Kiara so much. It's so, and because when they you know bust out, you know, like a 5-star I actually care about, I ain't getting it in like 5 summon tickets. That ain't gonna happen. You know, I'll have to use like 1,000 SQ. I had to use 650 SQ to get Romulus to NP2, right? Now obviously that's not like the worst, right? Like that's you know reasonable, but like I didn't have to spend like anything to get Kiara, right? It's so frustrating. Like, why can't I just can I just turn her in to like other copies of Romulus or something, or Edmund or something? You know, can I do that? Like that would be nice. I got 4 Summer Kiaras between the 2 accounts, dude. Oh, I got her NP3. I didn't realize I got her that high. Okay, that's. Oh yeah, I think we actually did use a little bit of SQ on the ult account. Actually. I think we did the summon tickets, and we only got her like NP1, and then I did like 2 multis or something. And that would explain why I got double Summer Kiara. But I seriously did not use that much, because I still have most of my SQ on this account. I think I have most of my SQs still on this account. Yeah, I'm at 500. What was I at in the summer event on this account? I want to say I was at like almost 600. Or something. So I did do some multis on this one, I think, and that would explain that nonsense. But still, I know we got Brunhilde though just from the summon tickets, but we did not on the main account. Main account didn't get shit. I don't know if this is good for her or not, to be honest, but it generally is good for Berserkers. Yeah, I know Cairo got Kiara multiple times as well. But that was his chat's fault. Sometimes it just happens, man. Sometimes you use like 200 SQ and you get like 3 5-stars. You know, it's just stupid. And then sometimes you use like, you know, 800 and it doesn't go well at all, right? The first one was his fault? Okay, never mind then. He only has himself to blame. But I know chat got him at least 1. I remember that being a thing. I thought his chat got him the first one though, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright, hold on. I need to look up her cooldown length. I think it's decently short. Oh good, her first skill's 5 turns. That's actually really good. I think I can use it right now then. I either use it right now or wait 1 turn. These will probably one-shot George though. Yeah, I'll use it right now. That's the best skill animation, by the way. Not in the game, but I mean for her. really sure what my favorite skill animation is. There's a lot of good ones, honestly. That fucking monkey just drained my crit stars and gave himself a crit buff. What was Cairo going for? I'm guessing Brunhilde, because I can't see him going for Ilya. Or maybe Tomoe, but no, Tomoe wasn't rated up with her, was she? I don't remember. But I can't see him going for Kiara or Ilya, so... Brunhilde seems to be fairly popular. I mean, she actually looks like a normal fucking person for the most part, right? Like, she's not one of those, like, really ridiculous summer servants that's, like... You know, like the other ones for the most part. Although Tomoe, they gave Tomoe some normal ascensions. I thought they did a really good job with Summer Tomoe, honestly. They have like the super Mimi one, right? But then she has like normal ascensions as well, and her animations are actually really good, so. Do I NP here? I don't think so, because we still have our evade, and it's gonna wear off, so. I don't know a lot of people that actually like. Well, no, I've seen pretty split opinion about Summer Kiara. I've seen a lot of people that didn't really care for her, but I've seen a lot that do. I think it's like only her second ascension that's popular though. I don't think anyone really cares about the other ones. Like her third ascension was so bad, dude. I thought that was like I don't now obviously I don't really like Kiara to begin with, so. But like even factoring that in, I think her third stage was really bad. Right, like it was just the animations were terrible and lazy, and the NP was so fucking lazy, and it's not even remotely cool or anything. It's not even thoughty, right? It's not even thought like her third stage NP was like, even if you're expecting like thoughtery from Kiara, you're gonna be really disappointed by her stage 3 and probably her stage 1 too. Honestly, like her NP was like the tamest thing ever, and it's just born. It bubbles. Wow, like yeah, that's awesome. I don't really remember her first stage, to be honest. I think her first stage has the same... I remember the NP, and that's the same in stage 2. Like, I think her NP is just bad, right? Like, I think Kiara's NP in stage 1 and 2 is just bad, and in stage 3 is, like, really bad. Like, that one is so disappointing. Like, it's not badass, it's not cool, and it's not... If you're wanting thought nonsense, it's not even that, right? It's just bubbles for some fucking reason. I'm expecting him to get one shot, so I'm just gonna cast Guts now. This is where using a Gut CE probably would have been right. I don't even know what CE I gave her, to be honest. Buster Chain, or do I want that 80% crit? Could probably kill without a Buster Chain. I'll go with the 80% crit. Give me that NP gain. Because let's be real, the Summer Kiara should not appeal to me, right? Like I'm not the target demographic, right? So like if it doesn't appeal to me, that's fine. But I feel like a lot of people that wanted Thoughterly didn't get Thoughterly, right? You did not crit with the 80% crit. So I should have done the Buster Chain. Feels bad. If we had crit, I think we would have gotten our NP there. But I have been betrayed. And now we might die. I kind of say, what do we, I think we, which one do we kill? I can kill either one of them. Whichever one has a higher normal card damage. I think I'll keep the snake alive. The snake likes to debuff anyway. Right now, she's only playable, like, as your ally. Like, you can't play as her, and I don't think that, as an ally, she has an NP right now. But she could potentially be added as a playable unit, so... Okay, good, we're safe. He used his skill. He crit, though! Chat, so Arcade is kind of like setting itself up as like its own timeline, and I mean it's confirmed as that, it already is, and it's like changing things a lot, and Guadia might not even be the final bad guy. A lot of people think he's not going to be the one at the Temple of Time, but maybe just a warped version or something. But anyway, a lot of people think there's going to be a different bad guy at the end, and like there's just a fact, like the story is changing in Arcade, and like things like the timeline's been warped, and and like Proto Merlin nonsense. I kind of wonder when they get to the end of it if they'll do like a collab with regular FGO. That would give them an excuse to add in a lot of the arcade exclusive stuff. But on the flip side, I think they're kind of happy to have all this arcade exclusive stuff because it gets people to actually play arcade. That'd be cool though if they had like some kind of like collab event and you got to see some of the like more unique arcade things in regular FGO, but not holding my breath. Yeah, like early on there was only like some minor changes, but they've started to make a lot more major changes, especially with Proto Merlin. That's been like a big shift. I mean, at this point, Arcade Story is its own thing. Like with America, it's quite different, and they're doing it on purpose. So it'll be interesting to see though what they decide to do ultimately. I have a 3-star C. That's funny. I wasn't doing that for the 3-star account. It was because I had Darius slotted, and I forgot to switch the CE when I switched Mori back. I may end up regretting this. Not because we might fail, but because it's Odysseus. I mean, Masashi's obsession with Billy and everyone else is not really weird. It's pretty much in line with her character. She pretty much always likes people like that. And like that one actually makes like the most sense because it's the whole gunslinger versus samurai thing, which has like been a thing for a while, so wasn't really surprised by that one. It's not just that, it's more like anyone that's like good at combat, for God's sakes, she gets really obsessed with generally. And like Billy's basically the, you know, pinnacle gunslinger, so. I like how Billy's just like, get away from me. One thing I really am just, okay, the initial design for Odysseus I like, but not for Odysseus. But then we didn't even get the initial design. Like, so it's just so much frustration, right? Like, I don't, why? Yeah, that hand could have been better. Fucking Hathaway in Gundam, dude. Don't even get me started on that nonsense. I find him such an unlikable character, and I swear he's supposed to be one. I know some people really like him, but my god, like in Char's counterattack, dude, just, oh god. The wolves only get one action per turn, so I don't think I need to. I think casting invincibility, right? Because use it early comes back, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. Like him killing what was her name? I haven't seen Char's Counterattack in a long time. There was like that blue-haired lady that like piloted like the Zeta prototype bullshit thing. Like whatever the fuck her name was, but him killing her was so stupid. I could not even believe, like, the level of stupid there was just unbearable, right? He's fucking team killing and he's like obsessed with the enemy who's like, you know, nuts, right? Like that was such and they're in the middle of a war. I'm like, what are you doing? Like that, oh my, his character was so fucking unlikable, dude. Like just awful. And I swear, I don't think you're supposed to like him. I really don't think so. But she was Armoro's girlfriend. I don't remember that, but it's been a while since I've seen that movie. Some people legitimately think Billy is a kid in this game, and I have no idea why. Like, first of all, yeah, no, they have like a kid trait in the game now, and he does not have it. It's a fucking nickname, and he doesn't even look that young. He's just short. Like, I don't understand. Do people not? I mean, I guess some people legitimately don't, right? But like, when anime wants to draw a legitimate child, there are certain things that they do, right? Billy has none of them. Billy is like that typical design that they go with when they want someone that is older to look still young, right? That's what they, like, the traits that they generally would give to make someone like actually a kid. You know, you make the face like a lot more round, you make the eyes bigger. Billy has none of that. He literally has none of that. All Billy has is the fact that he's short, right? That's pretty much it. Like, he's just short. He doesn't look old by any means. You know, of course, he's got, like, you know, fair skin and everything. But, like, he doesn't have, like, that really round face. He doesn't have, you know, big eyes. Any of the staple stuff that anime does to try to make someone look like a child, Billy does not have. So I have no idea where that even, like, what started that. Because in the early days, I don't remember anyone ever saying that. But in, like, the last, like, year or so, I've seen so many people that think Billy's, like, actually a kid. And I'm so confused. Because, yeah, he is short. But that's it. Like, that's literally it. Like, again, he doesn't look like super old either, but, like, Jesus Christ, he does not look like a kid. Yeah, they made him shorter in Fate than he is in real life. No, I don't mean you. I'm not talking about, like, you or Jin or anyone in chat. I'm not talking about that. I just mean, I've seen so many people on Reddit, my YouTube comments and stuff, that are trying to argue that, like, he's like a kid. And he so blatantly is not. Like, it's not at all. Like, it's just short, for God's sakes. Notorious H3. That's a different thing. That's a whole other kettle of fish. Yeah, I'm not referring to anyone in my chat right now. It's mostly people though that act. It's because they normally say it as like retaliation to people saying that, like, you know, Shootin is designed like a lolly, or like, you know, Ilya's a kid, or it's normally some kind of, you know, bullshit in that department where Billy gets brought up. Like, I remember when I first got, you know, I first saw Billy the Kid's design, like, I wasn't even playing FGO at the time. I never even bothered to look up if he was actually a kid or not. Like, I just saw the design, and it was like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously not. Right? They're kind of making him look young, of course, but at no point did I think, oh yeah, that guy's like 13 or 12 or 8, or like that never came into my mind. Because he's literally just not animated that way. Like, not at all. Giant chicken. Well, this stage ended up being kind of disappointingly easy. I wish I could poll all the people that like Odysseus's design. I wish I could poll them on if, like, okay, you like the design and that's fine, but I want to know, like, if they agree for the most part that it doesn't really fit Odysseus, right? Like, I'm really curious about that, because I do know some people that like the design. But like, I feel like a lot of people have got to see the logic on why Odysseus fans are not happy, right? Because it's like, this isn't really what people were. I mean, especially, oh my god, because I like Mecha, right? I like Gundam and stuff. I recognized what that was referencing so fast, and I'm like, I like Gundam Seed and everything, but the last thing I wanted out of Odysseus was a giant on-the-nose Gundam Seed reference, right? Like, I really did not need that. I do like his toolkit though. I also like his voice actor. And again, his initial design, which we don't have, but his initial design, I don't mind at all, right? It doesn't fit Odysseus, but then we didn't even get that design. Well, we do for like 2 seconds. Like, literally, right there it is, and it's gone. Right, you get that, you get it right there, right? And like one of his skill animations and stuff, but like that's it. It's so stupid. Also, I stand by this so much. They should have just done them like they did Romulus, right? Make one of his stages really normal, and then make one of the stages the mecha nonsense. And like, I don't get it, chat. I don't get it. It's like, we have a lot of 5 stars that have 2 NP animations. Hell, we have some 5 stars that have 3 NP animations. And not just like slightly different animations, just completely different. You know, Kama's got 2 completely different NP animations. And there's, you know, I don't think Ishtar's changes, I don't think. But, you know, there's a few people have 3 NP animations and a lot that have 2 for 5 stars, right? Why couldn't Odysseus... Why couldn't Odysseus been like Romulus, where he had like, you know, ascensions that looked, you know, quite different, and one that's more classical? And why couldn't they give him 2 NP animations, right? And then one, you know, one for that's more normal and stuff. Why couldn't they put effort into that, right? But no, we got to give Space Ishtar 3 animation sets. Nakamo has 2 NP animations, but I'm only asking for 2 NP animations. It's very normal that they have 2 when they, like, they normally will, like, you know, use the same, like, they might have 3 stages that are really different, but they'll use the same NP animation for 2 and then a different one for 1. Like Summer Musashi's got 2 NP animations. And I wouldn't really say Sigurd counts. Like, there's some effort put in there, but like obviously it's, you know, just a recolor, so I wouldn't full on say that's a different NP animation. But it's more than they do for some NPs for sure. Like, they gave Romulus 2 normal stages, right? 2, and then 1. And Romulus's stage 3 is not nearly as extreme, I would say, as Odysseus's, but still, he's got, you know, the 1 that's a bit more out there, and then 2 that are normal. So you cover a lot of bases here. Okay, Summer Lantoria's got 2 NPs as well. Does she have, how is her animations? I think her attacks are different in her stage 2, aren't they? I don't really remember. I like never see Lantoria Summer or Bunny Ruler or whatever the fuck you want to call her. I like never see her in stage 2. I see stage 1 and 3 all the time. You know, and stage 3 is really popular, I would say, but I like never see stage 2. All 3 stages share the same animations. I thought some were different in 2, but maybe I'm wrong. It's not 3 different sets like Space Star. Yeah, I know it's not like that. I know it's not like that, but I thought she at least had some unique stuff in stage 2. Because she doesn't have like the card attacks and stuff. I thought they did good with her too, though, because her stage 3 is like the really serious one that like you could actually take seriously in like a main story or something, right? And then the other 2 are both not, but then they're also very different, right? So you get a lot of variety there. Yeah, they don't do, yeah, like Ari's saying, they don't do 3 full-on different animation sets very often. Actually, I think they may have only done it for Space Ishtar. Well, I mean, they've definitely done 2 different animation sets before, but a lot of times they share at least an attack or 2. But there's probably a few servants that have at least 2 unique animation sets. But 3 is almost unheard of. It's pretty much Space Ishtar. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, she only has the 1 NP. That is true. Yeah, I don't. There definitely are some where there's like minor differences here and there, but normally it's like 2 tops, and a lot of times it's 1.5. It's very common that they do 1.5. Like that's definitely what they do quite a bit. And then like low stars is like 1.1 or just 1, but like, you know, sometimes they do really minor stuff with like Caesar. Oh yeah, Nobu. Fuck, that's right. Nobu is like, I think 2.5. She's not like full on 3. I think she's like 2.5 or 2.3 or something like that, because her 1 and 2 do share stuff. I don't even, to be honest, I don't actually remember how it is. Because I know there are, it's at least 2. Just like, I don't remember, are there differences between her stage 1 and stage 2? Like, obviously it's a different character and stuff, but like, are their animations the same? I know they share like extra attack and stuff like that. But, like, I know they definitely share some. Is there anything different between stage 1 and 2? Like, are the skill animations different or anything like that? Like, we should like check because, yeah, I really don't remember the stage like 1 and 2 that well for them because nobody uses them. Kai uses stage 2, but I don't know anyone that uses stage 1. I literally don't know one that uses stage 1. Oh yeah, stage 2's got the sitting thing. I think all the normal attacks I think they probably are the same. And I know for sure they share this extra attack. I know that since the beginning. But I want to know if they have any normal cards that are different. Rex, could you slot one of the two and then slot the other one after? Because I kind of want to see now. I want to check this. No, god damn it, Rex. But you like all of them, Rex. You like all 3, so. I kind of wanted to see the attacks anyway because I don't really remember them that well. I just remember the spinny bullshit in the extra attack. Fine. Well, I guess we'll do this anyway. Well, she at least has 2 though, because I'm sure that her stage 3 does not share anything with stage 1 or stage 2. So that's definitely 2. But like I said, 2 is not that rare. Like when they care, when they give a fuck, they generally will make 2, or at least 1.5. I mean, we could do Little Gil, but like Little Gil's in this. This is why I like never do anything with him. He's in this like gray area where it's almost impossible to do anything good with him because you know he has no survivability. So like if you're fighting a saber and it's a really hard saber, you will lose. And if it's an easy saber, because he's counterclassing, it's too easy to even matter. And then if it's neutral, he normally gets destroyed, right? So he's in this gray area where like where he's useful, it's too easy, and then like he needs to be buffed is what I'm getting at. We could use him though just for the fun of it to show off his animations and stuff though. It's not like none of these stages have been interesting to be honest. So, hey, thank you for the resub morph guy, that morph guy. I think that's what it is. I'm actually surprised Kid Gil has not gotten an animation update. Obviously, his animations are way better than day 1 characters. I guess they feel like it's good enough because you don't really expect Gil to be like doing backflips or anything. Because he's a 3-star, I kind of feel like they're like, oh yeah, it's good enough. And maybe it is, but it'd be cool if he did a little bit more with his stuff. Especially, like, I feel like Kid Gil is a really good opportunity for them to show off some of the stupider things in Gate of Babylon because... And I don't mean stupid as in like OP, but just some of like the more random things. Because Kid Gil would be because there's a lot of really random stuff in Gate of Babylon, right? And I feel like Kid Gil is the one that's really, really likely to use that stuff, right? Because he's Kid Gil. So like I feel like they could actually have a lot of fun with his animations. They do need to buff Kid Gil. Like he has uses. He does hit rather hard for an AoE archer. If you need like AoE archer damage, you know, for low stars, he does quite well. And it gives the team some extra damage too, because he's got the, you know, decent attack up and everything. It's just, that alone is not really good enough. What I want them to do is make his charm 100% and then give it another effect. I'm not sure what the other effect should be. I feel like you probably shouldn't do buff removal because they already did that a lot. I don't know, they might do it though and just give low stars more buff removal, which would be nice because low stars need more buff removal options, to be honest. And I'm not gonna lie, if Kid Gil had buff removal, he would absolutely get used more. Like, because you know, there's plenty of saber bosses and whatnot, and having buff removal on an archer would be pretty sweet. I want him to get a big attack down for 2 turns. That would be nice because that would work with his NP effect. That would actually be pretty cool. And because if it only lasted 2 turns, you'd have to like think about it. That would be nice. And that kind of fits the charm effect as well, to have an attack down on it. And Gil's powerful enough that kind of makes sense, and you have all kinds of NPs and Gate that could do shit like that, so that would be nice. I've always said this, Kid Gil's NP represents how Gate of Babylon works way better than every other like version of Gate in like almost every video game ever, even like Adult Gil and FGO. Like, I really mean this, right? Because Kid Gil's NP is just Gate spam, obviously, right? It's just typical old Gate spam. But then it comes with all those debuffs. That is so accurate to how they originally depicted Gate of Babylon. Obviously, they don't really depict it that way anymore because they're lazy. But in like Fate Stay Night, That was a big thing with Gate of Babylon, was every NP has its own effect, and you know, like they even noted that in his character material, how like you're gonna be getting bombarded by all these like random ass, you know, curses and hexes and nonsense, right? And Kid Gil's NP just represents that spot on. You know, he's like you got all the, you know, really, because they're strong debuffs too, right? Like they give Kid Gil really powerful debuffs on his NPs, so. A battery, I think a battery would be nice too, though, because that's one of the. It's really hard to like get synergy out of his debuffs because you need to have his NP on a very specific turn, and a lot of times it's like really difficult to sync that up. So I think a battery would be nice too. Basically, let's give Kid Gil a 2-turn attack down. Let's give him buff removal, and let's give him a like 30% NP battery. Just do all of those things. Just put one on each skill. Then he'd be like a really good 3-star. It's fine if Kid Gil's a really good 3-star, so. Kid Gil propaganda. Yeah, I'll use him in a minute here. I kinda want to do this NP here, to be honest. I like how they actually bothered to have like a spawning animation for that cup, and they can't be bothered to do that for Siegfried's sword and his summer costume. Or Jolter's flag. I'm telling you, we were so stupid. I feel like if Jolter was never playable, right? Let's say this whole time Jolter wasn't playable, and the next FGO event they made her playable, they would be fine with giving her 2 animation sets or 1.5 or something like that, right? Because they do 1.5 a lot. But because she's old, and if they give her an animation update, they won't do that. And she really needs 2 animation sets or 1.5 because, like, her costume, the flag has to go. That it just does not work, right? And in general, I would say one of her ascensions probably should not have the flag. I really feel like Jolter is like so wonky in almost everything she's in, even in arcade, because they're so stuck on the flag. Right, so regular Joan of Arc just fights with the flag. It even says she doesn't know how to fight with the sword, right? And that's something that's different about Jolter, is she does know how to fight with the sword, and that's why she uses it. But then they don't want to get rid of the flag. And so she's always running around with the sword in one hand and the flag in the other, and that looks awful. It looks so bad. Sure, a servant is powerful enough to hold a flagpole in one hand, sure, but it looks terrible, and you just don't, you know, they kind of like, you know, you're gonna be fighting other servants that are just as strong, right? So if you're gonna use a weapon like a halberd, you know, which a flagpole is somewhat similar to, you're gonna want to use it with 2 hands. Using it with 1 hand is dumb, and it never mind it being practical, it looks bad. Like, I think Jolter in arcade looks dumb when she's running around with the flag in one hand and the sword in the other, right? Because then the sword attacks look stupid too, right? Because this fucking flag is in the way. So she needs 2 animation sets. One that uses the flag, and then one that uses the sword. And maybe the flag one uses a few attacks with the sword and stuff. And then that way, for her costume, you just get rid of the flag, so it stops spawning in and out of existence constantly, right? But there is no way they are going to put the effort into her animation update. I mean, look at Scav's animation update and look at Okita's animation update. They're just not putting in that kind of effort anymore, like for old 5-stars. They just don't. They phone it in for it to just look good enough to get by, and that's it, right? So there's no chance that Jolter is going to have like an animation set where the flag is not spawning in and out of existence constantly. What they might do, they'll probably at least make it so the flag is just always there for her costume, right? So it's not like appearing and disappearing all the time. Like how Izo just has the umbrella or parasol, you know, always there in his costume. Right, so when he's moving back and forth, it doesn't look insanely stupid. So that'll probably at least do that. But that would still look dumb, because like her regular costume with the flag, I think would look pretty stupid. But that would definitely be better than the shenanigans that we have now. It's crazy that Jolter is so popular. So little effort put into her. I'm seeing a lot of people that don't really like Okita's new animations, but yeah, I'm not really crazy about them either. I mean, I just wanted to make stars before the NP, because the NP was going to kill everything, so there's no point in doing like BBB there or anything. I probably should have done just the quick attack and then the NP, because there was a chance that I would kill one of them when I do 2 attacks, so then you make less stars off the NP and all that, which that's not good. Shame we didn't have the bigger attack up, but it was still more than enough. She's a little dead. She's a little dead. That's set neutral, by the way. That's class neutral, so quite nice. Mecha Liz Mach 2 is the only good Liz. Unless you count Carmilla. Carmilla is acceptable, but I don't know if that counts. Do I even have you on JP Vol? I don't even know. I mean, I could use my Kid Gil. He is 70. I imagine his skill ranks probably are not that good though, because I never use them for anything. Like if I don't ever use them in a video, they don't generally get good skill ranks. Let's find out. Let's see what my how disappointing will my Kid Gil be to Vol? I feel like I used him in one video, maybe. Oh wait, this is the ult account. I don't have him on my ult account. Here, I can slot him. Hold on. Yeah, I am not remotely surprised that my ult account has not leveled Kid Gil. It really only levels like the stuff that. But I did level Jekyll. I leveled Jekyll and Hyde though because I liked Jekyll and Hyde, but I mostly only leveled like the 3 stars that were like, you know, good. I mean, I know Carmella and Liz are the same person, but you know, obviously going by a different name, and you know, they're a bit different. I have almost every 3-star leveled on my main account, and the only ones I don't have leveled, it's really obvious why I haven't leveled them. Yeah, let's see here. I have every single one leveled, except now the Benkei doesn't count. I have a max Benkei. That's just in second Benkei to have one that can taunt and then die quickly. So it's just Saber Gilius, Serenity, Uriel, and Kiyohime. And the only reason Saber Gilius isn't leveled is because he takes hero proofs, and it's really hard to justify that when you need 1,000,000 hero proofs, and he's you know, not exactly the best. And yeah, I don't think I need to explain the other 3. I have no idea how old Carmilla is. I'm not sure they ever say. Let me fix some of the things on this account while I'm here. I feel like giving him that CE is almost more of a slap in the face than anything, but oh wait, I should be slotting Kid Gil. Okay, he's 6'8", That's, I mean, that's reasonable. It's not amazing, but it's workable. The thing is, Vol, and I have to tell this to people all the time, you probably didn't send me a request. And this is why I normally don't bother with this stuff, because I probably have 20 invites. So it probably didn't go through. Oh my god, I just started the stage with Brunhilde. It's because I thought I had to hit the forward button to go back, because this UI is fucking stupid. I hate this UI. Yeah, I already had 20 invites. Although you might have maybe sent me an invite for a while ago, so maybe that's in there. Yeah, it is. See, and that's from quite a while ago, because like you can tell by the order. So that was easy. God damn it. This would actually probably be more interesting with a regular Kid Gil, though, because these stages are so easy. I actually think a 70 kill Gil might actually have to work here, but we shall see. It is nice that he gets that much attack when he's grailed. Although, you know, most 3 stars do. There's just a few where the game is just like, fuck you, and they have terrible stat spreads, but he has a really high attack stat, though, for a 3-star. That's like his thing. I imagine if you, like, fully max him out on everything ever, you know, foes and, you know, 2k foe and the faux paws and all that, he probably does get some pretty nice normal card damage. Probably better than most 3 stars, I would think. Oh, I see you gave him the faux paws on that poster card, though. Which means he will actually get some pretty nice normal card damage on that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I want to say Kid Gil has the highest attack stat out of the 3-star archers. Either him or like David, or a new one that I haven't looked at. One way to make his higher hit count better is to just make his golden rule even better. I mean, Kid Gil does pretty well in every department other than the fact that, you know, he is AoE and you need single target more for challenge quests anyway. And then his survivability is just dreadful. Like, his survivability is just absolutely dreadful. Like, his NP gain is not like the best thing ever, but it's fine. Like, with his golden rule and his hit count, his NP gain is pretty decent. But he does, a lot of times a battery skill or something would be better. But he's such an easy unit to fix. He's such an easy. He's not one of those units like Jekyll and Hyde that is like in just some, you know, terrible position. It's not like that at all, because he has plenty of legitimately good things in his kit. There's just some kind of obnoxious holes that kind of mess it up. But he's super easy to fix. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's because you don't see him really ever in 1 to 3 star videos. But I would not be surprised if that changes with some pretty minor twinks. He does have an upgraded NP, which is nice. So I am really glad to shoot this in the face. Obliterate. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Look at the guarding, though. He's got the crit down. Oh, he's just dead. Okay. Sure. I'm okay with that. No actions for the trap. Wait, was that David's, like, strengthening quest? Why on earth does David fight Trapface? I'm so confused. I can't believe I got Trapface out of GSSR. I mean, I can believe it, but I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna BRB real quick. I'm gonna run to the restroom and get water and blah blah blah. Oh hey, it was one of the breakpoints, so we get 10 SQ. Nice. I still have a bunch of breakpoints to get for free quests on this account. I just got so many free quests I haven't done. If I'm ever like in an emergency to get SQ, I remember when like they were rating up Achilles, I was doing like all the free quests. I hadn't done really any of them, and I did a bunch to get SQ for him. All right, I'll be right back. Also, what the hell was chat talking about with Carmella a minute ago? Alright, I'm back. What the hell is going on? I got Aries just calling people nerds. So, I feel like Liz fans must be really happy though, because like, they got a lot of versions of Liz, and they're all pretty easy to get. I guess the only thing that sucks is if you're a Liz fan and you just now started playing, then you missed a million versions of Liz that were free. So you have to hope for main interludes. But, yeah, if you're a Liz fan, I mean, you get her in like, what, you get Lancer, Saber, Caster, am I forgetting any? Oh, and then Alter Ego, that one is a bit whack for, I would imagine, for some people though, but, and if you count Carmella, you get Assassin as well. I feel like if Liz fans like Carmella, it's probably pretty 50-50 though. I got Liz out of my tutorial or someone. I think one of my accounts got that too, actually. Like, I see a lot of Carmella fans that don't like Liz. I don't see as much of the opposite, but I'm sure that's a thing to a degree. Alright, let's see, what we're gonna do here. Oh yeah, I still haven't finished this, and it's because it's because I don't need the buff, and that stage is like, you fight all of the Gorgon sisters, so if I ever need them for like a video. Like I used that stage for the Lubu versus Uriel clip. I feel like I should do this at least once to grab the mana prisms. It might be a little hard to solo. I wouldn't think it's gonna be that hard though. I am not using Summer Abigail. Preferably ever. Shutting that right down. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't looked at her stages. Let me do that right now. I have no idea what her stages are. That is kind of funny. I would not... Why is she wearing a Pope hat? I am confused. Why is she wearing a Pope hat? What the hell is going on? Okay, these guys have a lot of health for stage 1 wave. Stage 1 needs Jesus, so that's why they made stage 2, obviously. See, here's the thing. This is a there's many levels to this. You know, I'm obviously not into, like, sexualized, you know, lollies. You know, that's obviously not what I care about. But I don't really like kid characters, period, generally. I've seen a few kid characters and a few things that are fine. But it's very rare. Like, I don't find kids awesome, right? Obviously, they're important, and we were all kids once, right? So it's not like... It's not like an offense to be a kid, but generally kid characters in video games, like RPGs and stuff, I don't like them, right? So then you have the lolly angle, right? Which I really don't like that, right? So imagine being a kid, I know, right? Who would be a kid? Trying to think of a few kid characters that I didn't mind. Let me think. I didn't mind the kid in Tales of Vesperia. He wasn't like, you know, awesome, but I mean, he was fine. Okay, we need some big damage here. But I think we got it. I'm gonna use the damage cut just in case. Kid Gill's not exactly a kid though. I mean, he is, but you know, he's an odd one. But even Kid Gill, like I don't hate Kid Gill or anything, but I don't like hype Kid Gill. Like I like regular Gill way more. I don't really want to NP here. I think we just get whacked and heal. That's probably fine. Yeah, I mean, generally servants are supposed to be summoned at their peak. Now, that might be... Their peak might not necessarily mean their physical peak. It might mean their mental peak and all kinds of nonsense. And there's some servants that like forcibly get themselves to be summoned in a different state, like Penth. Well, that's only her Berserker self, though. Anyway, obviously, though, Fate just contrives a lot of stupid bullshit to get around that because, like, have we not learned by now that Fate will, anytime the rules get in the way, they just bullshit something, right? Like, some of the reasoning for some of the stuff they've done throughout FGO is very ridiculous. Like Chaldea. They invented the whole Chaldea system just so they could justify being able to summon 1 million servants, right? Like that, yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, I like Laphicet for a few reasons, because one, he never acts like just a fucking idiot, you know, burping, farting bag, you know, like that's nice. And then, you know, you see some interesting, like, characterization because he's, you know, basically an innocent kid that is surrounded by pirates, right? And it actively makes him, you know, influenced, you know, in many ways in a negative way. But he's not like, he's still in many ways, though, way more moral than everyone else on the team, right? So, like, it's just an interesting, like, character, and he's not, like, whiny and obnoxious or anything, so it's not so bad. But he's definitely not my favorite character or anything, but he's you know, he added to the story, right? I think it was, that's one of the few times I've seen a kid character that wasn't just, and there's a kid on the team because demographics, right? It actually made sense to have a kid on the team there because that, you know, worked with the main character having, you know, dead brother or trauma, and then, you know, seeing like a young person grow up kind of in a bad, and, you know, because like, for real, the main characters in that game are not good influences and they're not really supposed to be, but there's good aspects to them. But, you know, so that was I think that really worked to have a kid character in that story. But a lot of times you see kid characters that are just there just because, and it's not even explained, there's not even a reason, and for some reason, like Carol in Tales of Vesperia, it makes no sense that he's, like, why is a kid of that age, you know, part of a guild and running around with a hammer, like, makes no sense, and it's not even explained. It's not like he's a war orphan or something, right? There's no reason, there's literally no reason, it's just cuz. I'm actually kind of interested to see the damage here, because that's a lot of health the enemy has, but this is an AoE situation still. But we got attack up from the Mystic Code, and then her defense down, and she gives herself a buster up, and she has an upgraded NP. Incoming! I will try to do a bit of impact tonight. We'll see though. By the way, I did find a boss in that game that I liked so much more than the cubes, because... So I found out you actually have iframes in that game, because, I fought the Frost Flower, and I got to test iframes, and you do have iframes, which is good to know now. And I actually really enjoyed that boss because you could still fight that flower fuck in a really boring way, like you fight the cubes. Like you could stay way back when he's attacking, and then just go in and out, and but it would take a lot longer. But you could fight it that way, and that would be boring. But you can reasonably like just get in there and try to iframe everything he does and stay close to him the entire time and almost always do damage to him, and you will win a lot faster, even if you're low level, right? I really like that. Yeah, or use a ranged character. That would obviously make that fight pretty stupid, but the cube fights I feel like are going to be stupid no matter what you do. Like it doesn't matter if you're using melee range. It's just those fights are so much waiting around. Like you can't get in there and be risky. Like because with the flower fight. Yeah, if you want to get in there and be risky, you're kind of taking risk just because, you could just stay back and, be a lot safer, but it would be a lot slower. If getting in there and taking a lot of risks and trying to iframe everything does reward you with you winning a lot faster. That doesn't happen with the cubes. At least not the green cube. Okay, that was pretty respectable damage. It didn't kill, unfortunately, but it's pretty good. She's more of a support and the damage on the side, but that's some pretty good damage on the side. But I really enjoyed the flower fight. Like that felt like a proper boss fight. That was actually pretty good mechanics. Like if you get in there, so I enjoyed that quite a lot. By the way, we're going to end with full health, and our cooldown's getting pretty close to coming back, so that feels good. I actually did not have Ryder Martha for like the longest time on the main account, and I kind of keep I'm so used to not having her, I keep forgetting that I actually do have her, and I should actually try to get her skills up because she's I don't think I've ever shown her off in a video, right? I'm always telling people like. Don't sleep on this unit. She's really helpful. There's a lot of boss fights where debuffs will wreck you, right? And then she has AoE clear. That's great, and a lot of other support as well. And she can remove enemy buffs, right? So, but I've never shown it ever, not once. And I try to show off 4-stars from time to time in my videos, and I really should try to find it. If they had story replay, I can think of a million boss fights. Like almost every fight in Shimosa. I feel like there's so many boss fights in Shimosa. Martha is useful for, and then there's a bunch of fights in 2.0, like good god, there's so many fights in 2.0, like Lost Belts that she's good for. Yeah, there was that, I forgot about that, but that was a solo, and that was impressive that she could solo that, but, and you could, she's got so much team utility, I'd like to show that off. At least Kai does, Kai shows her team utility off pretty often, I think, but, I swear I never have. Like I got. If they ever add story replay, man, I need to just make a list of like the things I want to show off, and then like I'll go through the boss fights and find times that are like can really push them, so it's not like easy mode, but like you can really show the value. Like I have so many units that I want to like show off. Oh god, you're right. That was before her animation update. Oh my god. Oh god, that sucks because she looked so bad before. She had like the whack proportions and the caster balls. Oh god, yeah, I need to fix this. Don't get me started on Paul. All right, what do we got? I can't. These stages I'm all saving for things, so those aren't any good. We got the Uriel fight. What does this account have? We have Sitting Master. Did I save Argartha? Or however the fuck you say it. Let's see. We have Lobo. That's a good one. Oh god. I tell you, man, to this day, especially for soloing, but even for teams, if you don't have like, the bullshit, Lobo is rough, man. Because, most people are going to be neutral against an Avenger, so that means you're fighting a lot more health than normal, and then the evade applying every turn means it's a lot of health to get through. Who should we try here? So Canis can solo this, although it is fairly RNG. Ku can solo this. I'm sure Hercules already did solo it, but now he definitely can solo it. But all of those things are, you know, pushed quite a bit, so it's a pretty tough one. Have we ever tried? Pretty Boy Landling? Have we ever done that? It's Lobo. It's Lobo, the one where he gets the evade every turn. I feel like this is really bad for him though, because Lobo has insta-death, and when you're a stall unit, the enemy is going to NP many times, and at some point, our ass is getting insta-killed. I cannot imagine him living long enough to never get insta-killed. I could give him a gutsy E, that would help. It'd be, I'm not sure, the way he works, I don't know if he could run it back though. I mean, we should try, by all means try it, but I feel like he's one of those units when he gets low in health, it's really hard for him to get his health back up. And Lobo is a mean son of a bitch. While you're at it, maybe give him a, what do we have here? Maybe give him that one that, well, I was thinking about giving that Buster crit one that also removes a defense buff, because Lobo's got that giant defense thing. I don't know if that's actually worth it though. I don't know, I'll leave it to your discretion. But he does have the giant defense buff, and then he's got the evade, so you got sure hit and pierce vulnerability as an option. I think he does have debuffs that he can put on you. He's obviously got the insta-kill. That'd be cool if they gave us a command code that increased your resistance to insta-death. That's super crazy niche, and you wouldn't need it very often. But that'd be really nice for, like, you know, Neurofest Gramps if they ever brought that back. Problem with Anniversary Blonde is it doesn't help you for all the millions of other turns that you're going through, and then you don't know if the insta-death is going to proc or not, so... That's better for things like Gwaine, because you know you're going to be low health, so then you want the guts with or without the insta-death. Yeah, I know there's a CE with the insta-death resist, but there's actually several. There's even a 1-star one, or 2-star, I don't remember. But a command code would be interesting, because you could stack those things, and it just give you some interesting options. I think Lobo sometimes does debuffs, doesn't he have the... like his third skill or whatever. I don't remember, the AI doesn't use it here. I don't really remember. Yeah, I know it doesn't have like that defense down that applies every turn, right? Like from that other fight with him, there's like a gimmick where you're getting defense down often. That's not here, thank goodness. But I think he himself can do some debuffs sometimes. I don't think he either. I don't know. Either this version of him doesn't do it or he doesn't do it much. Because he's got, you know, attack down, buff removal, and death resistance. I don't really remember this guy doing that, but if he does, it's pretty rare. I definitely don't remember him doing it. Yeah, the defense removal one is probably better than debuff removal, because I don't remember any major debuffs in this one, so that is probably better. Because I know Lubu has a attack down and buff clear and all that. I just don't remember this version of him doing it. But he might. It's probably just something he doesn't cast very often, I would think. Yeah, the attack down is pretty nasty. It's like 30% or something. Oh, do we have the costume? I freaking love the costume. It's so good. Dude, I need to get Passion Lip. I actually might have her on an account. I probably just forgot. But because her interlude's pretty good, she's got an interlude where you fight like some bosses that are like really pretty legit bosses. Like you get BB at the end, or the BB Go or whatever the red-eyed version one is, with like 600k health, and you fight like a Hichikata with like an actual gimmick where he comes back to life like half health, and then something else I don't remember. Yeah, BBB or something like that. But yeah, that'd be pretty, because almost everyone's neutral against Moon Cancer. So I think she's like 600k. So it's like a 600k boss at neutral. That's pretty nice. Like that's pretty awesome for testing things. You can pretty easily gauge value that way. Because, you know, being at neutral is kind of rough anyway. Then 600k is a lot. Yeah, I kind of need to get Passion Lip just for that, because that'd be a really nice stage to have around. I should check though. I might have Passion Lip on one of my accounts. I have no idea. So the heal's good for coming back from the brink. Atlas is good for like the long-term value. I'll try Atlas. Besides, he has sure hit, so more invulnerability is good. Anyone that has Passion Lift, do you happen to remember if that interlude, did they force you to bring like a specific support or anything like that, or could you just bring whatever? Because if you could bring whatever, that means it doesn't even matter what account I have her on, because if I'm wanting to test someone, I can just summon them from my main or whatever. They don't force you? That's good. Alright, let's see. They have story supports, but with regular friends? Okay, that's good. If I just Art Chain? I think I just Art Chain, that's probably fine. Do I use my second skill? I mean, I don't really want to use the third skill, though. We gotta play the long game. It's 20%. I'd be wasting the buff success chance. I think I wait. Man, it's only a 5-turn cooldown, though. And getting my... no, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Because I feel like between this and the Art Chain, I might actually get my NP, like, right as my taunts die, and that would actually be pretty nice, so... Rip Arjuna. Okay, we'll get our NP. That's good. Let's see. He's got that crit buff too. I think the pink command code removes crit buffs, so that would be good. Although he might only last one turn, I don't remember. Okay, He's going to NP in 3 turns. If I use my first skill, then do Atlas, it won't come back in time, but then I could use... You know what? I guess we use the invulnerability from the Mysticope then and try to get it to come back. And then the second NP we stop with our invulnerability. Is that right, though? Because if we NP... Like, I'm trying to get it... You gotta get maximum long-term value, but you don't want to do it in a way that's going to get you killed, basically. Like, from an NP. So you gotta be kind of smart about it. Oh, it's right. It's the... Okay. Yeah, I get those confused all the time, too, so... I've made that mistake before. I think I might even have made that mistake in a video once. I mean, 1 NP is not going to be enough for us to take no damage. Okay, I'm not going to use my first skill, and it's because we've got the heal command code. I think this makes sense. Oh man, that sucks. Because we have the guts thing, we don't have the damage cut from CE. That's so cool. Oh my god, I love this NP. It's that fucking... the portrait to start there, and it's just so good, dude. It's so good. Anyway, it's so nice having damage cut from the NP, from a command code, and from a CE. Like, that just... It adds up, man. Yeah, we would have taken 0 damage there. Okay. Oh, right, we drain NP. Fuck, I probably should have used invulnerability. Okay, I think we use vulnerability now, then. I kind of forgot about that. Okay, I don't care. Oh, I should have... Maybe I should have gotten rid of that defense buff. Not gonna like do any damage here. I wanted to heal though. Come on, come on. Damn it. I really wanted my NP right there. Oh, I can get it. This is worth. I should have done that last turn, but this is still better than nothing. Wait, this CE does have damage cut? Which one is this? I don't remember a gut CE having damage cut. Why do I not remember that? I remember Guildfest 1, that's got the crit on it. I don't remember that. Like, surely I have it. I feel like I should have used that at some point, because I've had times where I put gut CEs on tanky units, and I feel like I gave them like the crit one or whatever just cause. I don't remember that. I literally don't remember that. Let me look. Oh yeah! You know, it's funny, I remember not liking this very... I did not like this as much as the other one for when we were in Guildfest, like for actually doing the bosses. I didn't like this one as much, because you almost would always give it to a DPS. That's really nice for Landling though. That's really nice for Landling. I wish it had, well, I guess split stats not so bad for Landling. I don't know. I don't know what you would, full health sometimes is unnecessary for, you know, that tanky anyway, so I don't know. Maybe I should be focusing on NP gain more. I do feel like that they should have made Summer Landling have his shades on all the time, and then he takes them off for the skill, and takes them off for the NP. That would not have been hard to do. So I think they should have done that. Dude, the problem is the evade is just destroying our damage output. Like, it's absolutely destroying it. And like, it's going to be hard for us to be able to like go that long. Like, we'll live a good while. Like, he's very tanky, but we're gonna have to go so much longer than we should. Like every 3 turns, we're losing a turn, more or less. Well, not quite because of the extra attack, but that adds up. That is so tanky, though. That is some bullshit. I don't know. He might be able to do it. I wonder if we could work in the heal boost command code. That might, and I'm sure you've tried that before, Ari. I have to imagine it's not as good on him because he has no source of healing at all outside of the command code, and then you're probably not going to use default on him. Like, it's really nice with the heal boost command code when you have a heal yourself and the command code, like for the 1k heal. But I don't know, it might be worth it. Yeah, if you do use default, then yeah, surely it's good, because that's quite a bit of healing, and you'll probably heal twice or 3 times even. So okay, so we're gonna drain him, so he's not gonna NP. So I don't use invulnerability yet. I like how we're this far in, and he still hasn't NP'd. I actually really like Landling. There's a lot of different ways to play him, and like some boss fights you can't mix it up. You can't go for the crits sometimes and things like that. But you definitely in some fights can focus more on the crits, and then just use his NP and stuff to just, you know, be tanky enough. I wish he did a little bit more damage though, and obviously from a balance standpoint he doesn't need to, but from a sanity standpoint it would be nice if he did a little more damage. Please don't insta-kill me. Can heal next turn. I imagine Lobo wishes he had AO about right now. His shoes, man. That's amazing. He's definitely got one of the better summer costumes, in my opinion. It's really good. A good start. Yeah, it would really suck when you like really like a character and then you don't like the costume they get. And then here I am over here with Ku and Billy and they don't even have costumes. I actually want Calamity Jane to get a costume more than Billy because Billy looks just fine as he is, where Calamity Jane, you know, a little colorful there. I'll just put it that way. Meanwhile, Artorio with invisible hair, right? Some people really like that, but yeah, 500 mana prisons too, I know. It's kind of funny because, you know, she's like the face of Fate and all that. You would think they would have given her like her Fate Zero costume or something. Because don't people ask for that all the time? Like, I'm pretty sure people ask for that all the time. Bedivere not having a summer costume is a crime. Like, that is an absolute crime. Okay, we're gonna get our NP this turn anyway, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, like, not do an art combo this turn. But it's kind of better to do an art combo, though. Okay, that probably wasn't worth it, then. I probably should have saved the second skill. Because we got the art up, so... That evade, man. Oh yeah, Iris Veil. They should give Iris Veil like her Fate Zero get up. I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, they really should do that. This is why I wish they just charged for costumes, man. And like, you know, for simpler costumes, don't charge much. You know, just charge $5, $10 or whatever. But we would get so many more costumes if they did, and then the game would actually make more money. Because that would be pretty cool if you could have Iris Veil with Mr. Fate Zero get up. And surely Artoria would have gotten multiple costumes by now if they were monetizing them. Yeah, that would. I definitely like her Fate Zero get up better than what she has, and like I feel like her. Am I the one that feels this way? I've always felt like this with Iris Veil when I like thought about like what she's wearing. Like they basically made her look like kind of like what she looked like, but like way like fancier and like different. It's like different because they felt like they needed to be different, but they tried to make it kind of similar. Like they got the whole white and like the hat, but it's a really different. It's more like a, you know, Pope hat, and then it's just. I don't know, it's like too much. Like I'm not crazy about it. I do like Iris Veil as a character though. Like I don't like loathe the way she looks in FGO, but I'm not hyping it either. It works better for evil Iris Veil, like the black version. That kind of works. Oh, it's right. That's right. It's the dress of heaven and all that. That's like a thing. I forgot about that. I guess it does make sense that. Okay, it does make a lot of sense that she has that actually, but I kind of forgot about that. That is a thing. Yes. So I don't think I need to say this, but I would really like summer Hawaiian shirt, costume. That would be nice, and I feel like regardless of if anyone personally likes Ku or not, it's really easy to say he's probably one of the servants, if not the servant, that deserves it the most, because he's been in the game since day one. He's incredibly popular. He's one of the original servants that they ever made for Fate. He was one of the first costumes they ever made for Fate. It was really popular back then, and it's still popular today. And it's been like, 9 years or some crap, and I actually think it's been more than that. Getting a little silly. I cannot believe that Emiya got a fucking summer costume before Ku, when Ku has always had the Hawaiian it's just... I just realized having the sure hit command code on one of his art cards would actually be pretty good here. You're probably right about that, especially because we probably don't need the Star Gen 1 on this one. Although it has, it does result in a couple of crits here and there. Like when you're seriously, when you're going for 90 turns, those stars will result in a few crits here and there, and that is nice. But those crits are probably losing out to the value we'd get from just hitting one more time every turn, right? Or, well, not every turn, because sometimes we'll do the Buster first. You want to either on Buster or Art, because there is definitely an argument to be made to put on the Buster, because you have a lot of turns where you're doing Buster Art. I don't know, though. I have no idea which one would be better on. I do like the heal on Buster, though. That's definitely the right card to have it on, like, no question. I completely agree about that. I've seen that post before about animation updates, and I agree. Like there are plenty of I think there's plenty of NPs where they do a better job than that, right? But Okita's not one of those, and several of the other more recent ones aren't like that. Like I think Achilles cut-in works really well, and like his NP is not lazy. But, really, Achilles' NP is very much not lazy. They made custom sprites for the fucking horses and the chariot, right? We use them for the extra attack as well, but, they literally had to make those, and then they actually, change angle with Achilles and everything, and, like, they put, and his cut-in actually makes sense for, like, what's happening and everything, and it looks good, and it works with, like, the momentum and everything. I think he probably has the best cut-in out of all of them, I would say, actually. Like, it really fits what's happening. But a lot of the other ones, it's pretty much like that picture that was just posted. Like that's pretty much it. But yeah, I think Okita is one of the worst cases of that, if not the worst case of that. It is disappointing to me. They make so much money. Like we should be getting just amazing animation quality in this game, right? Like I look at Epic 7, it makes way less money, and they put so much more effort into their stuff, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like it's annoying. We could have greatness, but we don't. I don't mind Artoria's NP, but it could be smoother. I think their excuse is they're trying to reference the visual novel, but I legitimately think that's an excuse. Like her NP is like too stilted, like the way they do for firing it. But I still really like Artoria's animation update, though. Like, it made her normal attacks look way, way better. And, the cut-in is still nice. It's just not done in the way that I would have done it, right? Like, I like how they can't be bothered to do more than, like, one frame of stuff, right? Where Epic 7 does, like, a full, like, little animation for their characters. And I'm like, motherfucker. Dude, there's a character in Epic 7 that they, like, summon a satellite and their NP and they like nuke shit, and they actually like drew the satellite, and I was like, if this was FGO, they would have CGI'd that. Like she summoned the satellite and like nukes a bitch, and they actually drew the damn thing. And I'm like, they would absolutely CGI that if this was FGO. And they've used CGI a few times in Epic 7, but pretty rarely. But there's so many things in that game where I'm like, and where they actually draw at like large objects and like weird artifacts and stuff and weapons. Like for fuck's sakes, literally like Lanling's weapon right here is CGI, right? It doesn't look too bad, but like they draw all of the fucking weapons in Epic 7. If I don't, well, we'll probably get our NP here. I tell you what, if our heal was up, I would use their second skill, and then I would have done Buster Art Buster, because then I could remove the defense thing, and I could heal, but because I can't heal this turn anyway, I'll just do this. I gotta say, as long as we don't get insta-death, I think we will win. And I gotta say, that's impressive, because not a lot of units solo this. Okay, that turn hurt like a motherfucker, though. That's not good. That's bad. Yeah, we might need the heal plus or something, or something to win faster, like sure hit. But because seriously, this has really only been soloed by big boys for the most part. There's a few people that can solo this that normally don't keep up, but because of Lobo's hit counts, His hit counts are a little high. But yeah, this is a tough one to solo. It's a good thing we have our NP train because we're one turn off. Oh good, our cooldown reduction is actually coming up. That'll be really handy. I really want to heal here. Shit. I think I do. I think you gotta heal here. Like, because then it comes back one turn sooner. I think that's... I'm hoping... I should not have done my second skill then. No, wait, I didn't use my second skill. So no, we're fine. We're fine. I think. Who's your favorite animations in the game? Karna, probably. There's quite a few that I like, but probably Karna. I tell you though, man, it's been really noticeable to me lately that they've not been putting good effort into their animation updates, and I'm very unhappy about that, because one of my favorite things about the game is seeing all the awesome animations. They still do a pretty good job when they make new units, but the animation updates have really been lacking lately. Like, I've been pretty disappointed in them. Yeah, Scats was pretty bad. Like, sometimes doing one frame of animation is fine when, like, but, like, in a lot of the poses they do and stuff, it's not. And it just doesn't look good. Like, for some of them, it's fine. Like, for some of them, it's okay. But, yeah, Scats was meh, and Scats wasn't too bad. The main issue with Scats is almost everything else, right? Because, obviously, Scats is only one frame, which is kind of weird because it's a full body shot and everything, so a little bit of movement would have been nice. Like, it could be pretty minimal, but something, for God's sakes. The main problem with Scats is everything else. Like, before, she literally has one frame before the cut-in, then the cut-in, and then one frame after it. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's so fucking lazy. Okay, just don't insta-kill me, and then we're looking pretty good. This is actually a really nice turn. I would definitely say, if you're making a tier list for cut-ins, Achilles definitely wins that one. Like, that really works there. I mean, her buff does work a lot like Canis's, but I wouldn't say it makes her like Canis, because the reason Canis does what she does is because Canis has that unique buff, then she also has the regular giant ass attack buff, and then she has crit up from her NP, and it lasts 3 turns, right? So it's just so much going towards the normal card damage. Okita's is way more short term, and she doesn't have like that kind of stuff. But Okita does get really big short term crits, because she has the crit buff, and she has that attack buff now. So if you can like line up a turn where you have your crit buff, you have crits, you have your NP, and you do quick up, and then you do NP crit, that's huge damage. But because of break bars, a lot of times you don't need that, and it's hard for Okita to spread that damage out. Like, Okita really wants to NP and then crit on different turns a lot of the time, because of the way health bars are. And it's kind of wonky to make that work. But she's still better, it's still more damage, right? So sometimes though Okita could break without using her first skill, and then you can really set up some nice stuff, so. They could have given Scats boob jiggle. That would be really stupid because what she's wearing, it would be like impossible for her boobs to move, right? Like that's like the whole thing is because it's like you're wearing a super tight outfit that you would not really get much movement. Period. By the way, same for Ku. By the way, that you generally don't want something. Ku's is so impractical. By the way, what Ku is wearing is ungodly impractical. But you know, what are you gonna do? Although honestly, almost what everyone is wearing in Fate is impractical. It's almost everything is impractical, and there's a few people that randomly have practical stuff, but not a lot. Yeah, it doesn't do what Canis does at all, but it's still extra damage. Vacuum sealed suit, pretty much. I mean, I guess it could be made out of some bullshit, you know, magical cloth or whatever, but I mean, who fucking knows these video games, man? Yeah, I mean, they very much did do that to reference, I think, the body paint thing, especially with Ku. And that's a pretty normal thing, actually. A lot of artists do that kind of thing. Like the guy that drew Superman originally said they literally, like, they basically drew him naked and then just colored him. Like, that's basically how they did that. And you see that kind of stuff a lot. And it makes sense. What I'm getting at, it's like, okay, if you're super powered and you have runes carved in your clothing, it doesn't really matter. But you wouldn't be able to make clothing like that. That's the thing, right? Unless you have some super magical material that's made out of something that we don't have, you really couldn't make something like that. Like, it's not about protection or any of that. Like, there's no cloth that is going to work that way, right? Like, it doesn't exist. But, again, it doesn't matter because I literally don't really care because there's so much stuff in these games that don't exist and don't make sense. So it's like, whatever, people if they want to do things for, just style or whatever, that's fine. And if I happen to like or not like the style, that's just subjective. We're down to 6,000 health. We're getting down to the wire. Oh man, I would like to win before he ever NPs again. That would make this a lot better. You gotta give it to Lobo. He is wearing him out, right? Like, there's a lot of fights where the enemy can't do that. Especially Lancers. Lancers just don't... Lancers with high hit counts just do not have a chance. Like, here's the thing. Okita was already a good unit. She was already a very, very good unit. I think people really underestimate just how good she is. But it's true, her buff is pretty minimal in how much it can help you. But there are plenty of times it really can help you. But as Rex said, there absolutely are times where you're going to break the health bar with or without it, right? But it's okay. You're gonna have this is gonna happen a lot. Like, this will happen plenty. Where to break the health bar you're on, you're gonna need to use the quick up on the NP, right? Now, sometimes you'll be able to break with your NP and not use the quick up, and then you can use it just for the normal attacks and stuff. But there's gonna be a lot of times you're gonna need to use the quick up for the NP, and you might want it for the star gen for the crit turn later, because more quick up means a few more stars. And then on the next turn, you're not gonna have it in your first skill anymore, and then you're gonna have the crit turn. And then maybe that's not enough damage, right? And so it can be kind of awkward like that. And there's also going to be times where the crit damage would have been enough damage with or without the buff, and the MP would have been enough damage with or without the buff. So it doesn't do anything. If anything, like, she's never really needed more damage. That's the thing. Okita's NP does good damage. Her crits do really good damage. She loops her NP very easily and quickly. Like, she doesn't really have damage problems, right? Like, it's really easy for her to crit and NP often, and she has the crit buff. What she would need would be like, like maybe adding a bit of Star Gen or like Star Bomb to her Star Absorb, or just something that gives her more survivability on any of her skills. Those would have a larger impact on her performance, because no one's really like, they're using Okita like, oh man, she's not doing enough damage. That's generally not the problem. And there's not a lot of problems with Okita, to be real. Like, she's very good in solo, last man standing, team play, frontline, backline. Like, she works incredibly well with like Scath and Waver and all those things. Like, she works great, but there is room to improve her, I would say, a little bit. Like I've always said, she's really, 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 really good, so I don't even care if she doesn't even get buffed, but I wouldn't mind them, buffing her a little bit, right? But the buff they gave her is very minimal in the amount that it helps her. But as I just described times where it's bad, there are times where you can NP, break a bar, not have used your first skill, then use your first skill and get a massive crit turn, and you might have needed that. So stuff like that, that will happen. Like, it will happen. And sometimes you'll be fighting a health bar that's just massive, right? And you're going to need to NP and crit on the same turn. And then that skill is quite nice, right? And it does boost up your damage a good bit. So, it's good. It obviously makes her better. It just doesn't make her as much better as a lot of other buffs do. That's the thing. A lot of times they buff units, and it has a very minor impact on their performance. And then you have buffs like Kyokime's, which basically has no impact on their performance. And then you have buffs sometimes that have, you know, really big, you know, impacts on their performance, or like at least like 1 turn of value or something, right? Where, you know, this was kind of niche. I think I wait the 1 turn. We're looking good though. I think, and yeah, we got our invulnerability coming back from our Mystic Code. I just really want to kill him before he has a chance to NP again. Yeah, 6% defense on a Berserker is like, I'm not gonna lie, there's a few units that you could like, that have defense buffs. If you made the defense buff a bit bigger, you might be like, yeah, that could be all right. But on a Berserker, and especially a Berserker that has no other defensive stuff, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's so unlikely that will buy you any extra time. Like, here's a unit that might get some use out of it, would be Ku, right? It wouldn't matter on your first protection from arrows because you always lose the defense buff. But on your second protection from arrows, you know, a lot of times protection from arrows goes away and then you just have the defense buff. So if you made the defense buff bigger on that, and because the ideal time to use Ku is against an archer, and you're taking half damage from archers, you know, some extra defense up, yeah, that might actually, you know, buy you a turn, you know, here and there. You know, it still would be kind of minor, but it's like, yeah, that could pretty consistently buy you an extra turn. But on a fucking Berserker, it's like, this doesn't do anything, right? It's stupid. Like, now they could actually retroactively make her first buff better if they gave her like a damage cut on a different skill. Like a bigger defense buff when you have a damage cut, that can start to help. So if they did something like that, the thing is she's not supposed to be tanky, right? Like lore-wise, that doesn't make any sense. Like and like how they designed her originally, that doesn't make sense. She's supposed to be the AoE Berserker that does big NP damage, big AoE NP damage. That's what she's supposed to be. But she just does not, it's like Jinkei. She does not do enough NP damage to justify how much shit she is missing compared to the other low star Berserkers. Right? Like her NP damage is not so high that it's like, oh yeah, it's totally fine that her skills basically, you know, just do, she has no survivability and, you know, all that shit. Like it doesn't help with that. Hey, Jinical, thank you for the 15-month resub. What's up, man? Yeah, very similar situation to Jinkei actually, because, you know, Jinkei's whole thing is, you know, getting like that big NP damage and everything, and trying to get crit damage is just, it's not enough damage to warrant our absolute lack of survivability and utility. I will say, Ari, and I totally understand, because I feel the same way. A lot of times I don't want more games in my life. But I will say that Impact game is very different from other gacha games. It is way more like a single-player RPG. It just does not have, it does not have the same like maintenance that you need to do in a regular gacha game, which is nice. But that doesn't even matter, because like sometimes you don't even want to play another single player like RPG in your life either. But another good thing is it's a lot like Art Knights to me, where it's so easy to, I could just not play that game for like a month and I could just come back and play it again and it'd be fine. So like you're not missing anything by not playing it right now. So like if you ever feel like playing it, you just play it then, right? It's not going anywhere. So like who gives a shit? Also, the longer you wait, potentially the more variety they'll have in their character designs, because, oh my god, there's like none of that right now. A battery could help Kiyohime, like getting her NP quick, but honestly, I don't really mind if they keep her where she doesn't really get her NP all that fast, as long as her NP actually hits really hard. Like, she needs to have like just a bomb NP, right? Like that's okay if you have a unit that doesn't have great survivability, doesn't have great normal card damage, doesn't get their NP quickly, but their NP hits oh my fucking god hard. You know, that has uses, right? But it doesn't hit like that. What do you think is the worst skill in the game? Phantom's third skill. Oh yeah, and Volard said that. Yeah, it's Phantom's. I don't even have to think about it. It's Phantom's third skill. Like it's awful because it normally doesn't even do the one thing that it does. Like a lot of people don't realize this. It's like overwhelmingly, Phantom's second skill is going to land anyway. Like overwhelmingly. So it does nothing. It does nothing. And like that tiny bit of RNG that it removes, like that tiny chance you have to fail, that shouldn't exist anyway. Like he shouldn't have a chance for it to fail anyway. Like his third skill should just be part of his second skill. Right? Like, literally his second skill is 2 skills and spread out. And that's stupid, right? Like, you're getting 1 for the price of 2. Like that's insane, right? Like he needs like his third skill as part of his second skill, and then his third skill needs to be something completely different. Like I don't know, an evade and an art up. That'd be pretty nice. Like give him a 3-turn art up, and an evade on his third skill. Now it's you know he's like way better of a unit. You know how good that would have been? You know how good that would have been when we were fighting fucking Lee students? That'd have been amazing. All right, I feel pretty confident in saying that Landling is going to win. Because, for God's sakes, we still have guts, and we still have invulnerability, and we're about to heal, and it's going rather well. You ever think they revamp an entire character? I mean, they did that once, basically, with Waver, but they never did it again. The problem with revamping, and it's, you can, oh god, he just crit. We're still gonna win, though. It doesn't matter, because even if he killed us there, we still would have won. But, so here's the problem with revamping, and I see this all through FGO's design, and you see this animation updates. They're afraid to take something away from somebody. That's why, like, Edmund's animation update, his attacks are all the same. They just look better. And then, like, they replaced his repeat animations, where, like, he would do, like, the same animation over and over, with new ones, right? Now, that actually works for Edmund, because legitimately Edmund's animations were quite awesome, like, choreography-wise to begin with, right? But they did that again with Scath, and I think it did not work for Scath. Like, I don't think anybody thought her Buster animations were good before, right? And they look exactly the same now, right? It's like, great. Like, she has a 6 hit count Buster, and it's boring as fuck, right? They could have done some, like, nice, meaty, you know, beatdown stuff, but nope, you know, some good stabby, poke, but nope. Nope, just throw some spears. Okay, that's great. Like, but it's the same thing with when buffing units, right? They don't want, what if someone liked Sanson's anti-human niche, right? So we couldn't make it humanoid, right? Now you could obviously give them both, but yeah, because of that, I think they don't want to revamp servants. They should. Like, there are some servants that came out in the beginning of the game that are just so fundamentally borked, they should just remake them. And a lot of it is just, you know, like, you don't have to change their skill animation and all that. It's literally just text in the code, right? Like what their effects are. So that's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. It has nothing to do with money and time. It's completely got to do with, like, their willingness to do it. And they obviously don't want to. They obviously don't want to, because 5 years in and, you know, we don't have it, so. I would have had her maybe, like, throw some spears, then, like, go in melee and smack them or something like that. Like, it's just 6 hit count and all she does is that. It's just, it's not great. We might win this turn, but I think we'll win next turn. But I'm just gonna, if it's obvious we're gonna win next turn, I'm just gonna close the stage. I don't want to risk losing the stage. And again, we still have guts and we still have invulnerability, so there's not much chance of this going south. Well, that's close. I'm ready to cancel. Like, oh my god, that was okay, well, it's obvious we've won now. He only has he did finally pop guts. Like, he finally got us low, but then we still had vulnerability though, so we did get that. That's awesome. That's it's almost like NP5 Landling is a monster. He's definitely one of the units that scales the most that I've seen with NP ranks. Like, it's just ridiculous. The amount of tankiness. And also, what you gotta understand is, like, the way damage cut works, it is infinitely more effective when you're counterclassing. And that's how you're supposed to play units. Like, we're just doing them at neutral to, like, test them better, right? Like, because it's hard to find content that you can counterclass, that's repeatable content, that is hard enough to call for counterclassing, right? But you're supposed to use them against Lancers, and at which point, his tankiness level is just, I mean, it's nuts. Like, they generally can't hurt him. Like, it's fucking bullshit. And look at how long. This is where they messed up with Landling. I feel like Ari will agree with me, although she would never want this to happen. But the balance mistake they made with Landling is that he has NP drain, and that means because damage cut's not very effective against NPs. But because he has NP drain, he can always block the NP with his invulnerability skill or the Mystic Code, right? Always. So he can't die against Lancers. Like, generally, it's impossible for him to die against Lancers because they'll never get it. Because, like, a lot of units that can stall, eventually they're going to run out of, like, value with, like, blocking the NPs, and the enemy's going to get an NP in at some point, right? So you have to 1 by that point. But that's not the case with Landling. they never are gonna get that turn, right? So it's like really, there are some gimmick bosses, obviously, that that can get NPs off, but they're not very common. It's gross, and I love it indeed. Yeah, I gotta say I enjoy it too, but it's obviously a bit strong. All right, boys, I think we'll wrap up there. I think we'll take a quick break. I'll play some Impact tonight. I may not play it a whole lot because it's hard to play, you know, like iframe timing. We're gonna do like a boss fight or something when it's late, but yeah, I'll play that in a bit. But I'm gonna take a bit of a break, and then I'll come back for those that want to see that. But thanks for hanging out. Kind of a filler stream, but not a whole lot going on right now. I'll try. Oh, we should try to do Hijikata tomorrow. I'll try to find the stages that I have on my accounts that are like the hardest, so we can really like put him to the test. Because I feel like his buff was so big because his cooldown is so short. Like I said earlier, he's not just gaining 1 turn of survival. He's gaining 2 because you'll use his guts first, then like his Craft Essence guts, then the Mystic Code guts, and then he'll have it back again. Right, so he's gaining 2 turns of survival. That is really big on a Berserker because they get so much done per turn. So I think he's a big boy now, like very much so. Like I think he's gonna, like, Jesus, with command codes and everything, I think he's gonna be a real powerhouse unit nowadays. But all right, boys, I'm not gonna raid anybody because I'm just gonna stream again in like 30 minutes or something, so it feels kind of pointless to do that. But yeah, for those that are done, I'll see y'all later, and peace.